Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Batmobile lost his wheel and the Joker got away.
My version, the Joker took ballet. Batman's in the kitchen, Robin's upstairs, Joker's in the hallway, pissing down the stairs. Batman's in the kitchen, Robin's in the hall, Joker's in the bathroom, peeing on the wall. That's all.
Now, the only reason I stick with mine, I want to say this publicly, I've told you this story a dozen times, is it's the version that Joker sings on the Batman, the animated series himself. So if those are the words coming from the Joker's mouth, those are the words that I will repeat.
Yeah, but I also just, sang the versions of Jingle bells, Santa Claus is dead. Rudolph took a 44 and shot him in the head. Barbie doll tried to save his life, but G.I. Joe and an Eskimo stabbed him with a knife.
I didn't know what a 44 was at that age.
I did, because...
I
don't know. I knew things. I learned the song Colt 45.
I really wish
before I should have known what the gun or the liquor was.
I wish we wouldn't have made our arrangement about the...
Actually, no. That's what it was. When I learned the Colt song Colt 45, way before I was young enough to know it. Yes. I was like, why is there a song about this gun? And then I heard the song and learned about the liquor. And so that was how I learned about that when I was still way too young to have known about either, but I already knew about the Colt.
I heard that song growing up, but I got to see that performed live by him. And here's the thing. I had a front row seat, but at the balcony. So it's like, I'm here just sitting here and he's like, not even far, because it's a small little club, but it was so bizarre. Because it was back when I was like, I'll only drink and all this stuff. So everyone was like high around.
Did you get a contact high from just being there?
And then this girl was like, it was weird because she comes out of the crowd and starts talking to Phil. But then she sits on my leg and then doesn't talk to Phil, but talks to Dan, and then doesn't talk to them but me. And then it got weird. Like he got cock blocked and nothing even happened. He just sat there and talked.
That's funny. Anyway, we are here finally. Sorry.
We couldn't stop talking.
Sweepy, apparently there's a debate about with my hair color. Let's see what y'all think. I will take opinions. I'll try to get the light that I feel like most accurately represents it. It's tough. I will say this light is a little dark, in terms of how I would actually accurately represent my hair color. But I feel like there you go. I feel like that gives you a decent sense of, the general color, the highlights, the accents, the individual strands, etc., etc. I don't know how clear it is.
How does your voice sound?
Comes in on your
accent. Is it Dutch? Is your hair of the Dutch?
Is your hair from the Dutch? Is that where I come from, the Dutch? Papa is Mom's hair.
Yeah.
Mom's hair's Dutch like me.
Yes, shit pancake.
Yeah. He's trying to do the leg thing.
Oh, there
he
is.
Jane. Your legs aren't that long, though.
Shit pancake.
It looks really sad because he's trying to make his legs look long and they just look regular.
Yeah. He doesn't even know.
Sweepy says, we have the same hair color. Cool. What do you consider yourself, Sweepy? I know because I was reading your chat earlier. Matt Decker, that is actually whatchamacallit. Oh, anonymous. I think I can read. Tom.
Oh, Tom. I thought you were going to bed, man. How are you so awake?
If you don't go to bed, you're gonna get an invite to this stream. So
here's the thing, folks, that you don't know about Tom. Tom once sold his soul to the devil for a rare copy of Blade Runner on tape, and the deal was Tom cannot turn down an invite. So if you invite Tom to a stream and provide him with a link, and he sees it, he is obligated by a blood oath that he made to Satan to appear.
True story. Wait, when you say you're on your way, Tom, do you mean you're on your way to bed or you're on your way to this stream? Because either is possible.
Don't abuse the power. Don't send it. Don't look at it's the holiday season, Jesse. He's got a family. He works hard. He doesn't sleep. Let him rest. Don't do it.
Does he need to sleep?
Yes. Tom is not a robot. He's not from Beverly Hills. There are no robots in this town.
Now here's a question. Let's say Rhino did ask me to make a point about Mando. I sent me a point you want to make about Mando. I could make this do this, or we could ask him to come on and just make it himself if he wants to.
Yeah, that would be better.
So Rhino, if you are around, you can certainly come on to do this.
Dude, just go to bed. Tom. You work too much all the time.
You deserve some time off. Matt, I do remember karaoke. And the way you describe my hair color is exactly how I used to describe it. Dishwater blonde. Filthy blonde is the other way I describe it. It's a little darker than dirty. Damn it, Rhino. So I'll read your thoughts though, because it was cool. Putting emos to shame because my swoop is natural. You're damn right it is. I don't even think I put any product in my hair today.
I don't know.
Because we showered just before your stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not put anything else in it. So yeah, this is literally like it dried. This is how it air dried from the shower. So I'll take the hat off for a second if you want to see. So people have questions about my hair and stuff and how this is my hair air dried from the shower this way. It was washed, it was conditioned, it air dried it from the shower.
Do you know what my number one question about your hair was?
What?
Is it real?
Was it really?
No.
People ask that. People
I
legit.
know, you've told me about it. I think it's ridiculous. It's like you're a 26 at the time-year-old girl. Like most 26-year-old girls have their hair.
Yeah,
thankfully.
Most of us
It's
do.
not like you're asking like a 42-year-old guy or something like, is that really your hair? Like,
you know what my hair would look like on the days if it was longer and cut that way, on the days where it was really limp? You know how my hair would behave? Like AJ Styles. The way it gets all fluffy and like flippity.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at him like, if it on the days when it's limp though, because his hair has no body in it, but mine is fluffy.
See, now this is why I like
it is getting really long, old school Jeremy. I'm like way overdue for a cut.
That's why I like about my girlfriend getting into wrestling. She can have the questions and the discussions that I don't think about. So I'm worried, like, AJ Styles, is he really in the conversation for all time great? Yes,
dude, his hair is in the conversation for all time great.
See, there you go.
It is beautiful.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Have you seen AJ Styles' hair? I wouldn't be surprised. No, he is some fancier shit than Maybelline.
Wait, that's a makeup. That's why I stopped. I was like, maybe it's Maybelline.
I'm pretty sure they make a shampoo with. They make shampoo with something. They probably do. I don't know
what the women's properties make.
JoJo.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I feel like I'm allowed to laugh at it because I know where your heart is because you censored yourself. But goddamn!
That's all it says. Goddamn!
Goddamn! Also, if you're just joining us, please press the like button.
Oh god!
We're just doing all the racism now.
No, you're quoting A Christmas Story. You love that movie.
Yeah, so much. So much. My favorite Christmas movie. Flaming TP says, bedtime, Merry Christmas. Sorry we couldn't catch you live in the flesh, my friend, unless you are still kicking around out there. And I'm so sorry we kept you waiting all that time, honey dicked you, as it were. But the High Council ran long. I was busy running my mouth about how stupid the Mandalorian is. So we will make Rhino's point for him since he is at work and can't join us himself. We will cover it because it is nice to have allies in these dark times.
But the interesting thing, though, is I know the show ran late and stuff, but the Mindless Mob is showing up.
The Mindless Mob is here in force because you guys are the best. And on that note, make sure you do press the like button if you have not done so already. More impressions equals YouTube actually believing that the show is worth a damn and sending more people our way so we can hang out and be longer. And yes, Rhino, we are. So good timing on that one.
We are. What are we drinking, actually, Jesse?
So I thought we might kick the night off. This is a nice $20 super chat. We might kick the night off with a nice little glass of our fancy red velvet Baileys. Our Irish holiday
Bailey.
treat.
Creamy. Beige.
And then if you want to start mixing us up some SoCo eggnogs for our later drinks.
I think.
Ooh, look at this.
Oh my god, it's like red velvet cake liquor.
That is actually, it's not like it, Jeff. It is that.
Maybe it's Maybelline. What I'm really excited about is our frivolous lifestyle lets stupid things happen, but sometimes they're amazing.
Oh!
The cinnamon grinder was under the table.
Literally thinking, you know what would go great with our SoCo eggnog? A little sprinkle of cinnamon on top.
And you know what? So did I, and luckily it was under the table. Why? Because we're hillbillies.
Goddamn. And you know what? After your breath is all cinnamony and sweet, we can freshen up with some Tic Tacs before we make out.
Mm-hmm. Got a problem? Light that bitch up.
Whoa. Careful with that lighter. You don't want to hurt Pancake.
I would never want to hurt Chip Pancake. But if I got a shit, thank God I got this shell to wipe my ass.
What the fuck? Why?
Oh, wait. You've never seen Demolition Man.
I guess we could play Nintendo later if you want.
Nah. I got the new Xbox. I'm more interested in that.
Oh, I thought there were some things we still wanted to play on the PlayStation.
Yeah, but I got you an Xbox controller too, so you can join me.
Halo it is.
Yeah. All right, so let's drink to this one.
I do love that game.
I'll make a...
Cheers to that. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It tastes like red velvet cake.
It actually... Has it like weird chocolatey aftertaste of a real red velvet?
It feels like I'm drinking cake of red velvet
by the ocean. Oh, baby, baby, your favorite song. Folks, send in super chats to songs Jesse hates, so she'll have to read them.
So you know how we talk about how rich we're gonna, like, how great life is gonna be when we're rich and famous and can do all this shit. That's true. There's a flip side, which is how much more unapologetic I will be with my impulses when I can afford to clean up or replace any messes I make. So, like, when you sing Cake by the Ocean, I can, instead of going, well, it'd be really funny if I threw the Baileys in your face right now, but then we have to clean it up and change clothes and all the shit. I would go, yeah, but the joke is worth it because we'll just have the shit dry cleaned in 3 hours by our fancy butler named Alfred. He's not actually named Alfred, but part of his contract is that he has to let us call him Alfred.
I want a butler named Archie.
We already agreed on this, Jeff. Remember, this was a whole conversation. We had like an extended conversation about how well we were going to treat not Alfred.
You know, we have had way too much milk fat today. I made Alfredo for lunch, folks. It was really good.
To be fair, we really didn't have that much milk fat because we couldn't
eat that much of the Alfredo. Our stomach shrunk.
We need to stir this.
That's what I was looking for. Like, usually we have like a random ass plastic fork, but we cleaned.
We did. Whoops. Wait. Oh shit! No, I threw away all the random ass plastic forks. Hold on. No, there's some. I don't want to break it in the not fancy, the nice silverware.
Hold on.
Yes.
'Tis the season.
'Tis indeed.
I'm kind of proud of this one.
I'm proud of you, Alan.
So we're trying to like, yeah, it was kind of cool.
So I feel like this is a $20 drink. So I was just going to go ahead and finish this
liquor.
one as I do it.
I mean, it's not too strong.
Jane of my soul.
Out of control.
Out of control. Where's Jane of my soul? Oh, I scared away some pancake. It was worth it for the game. How fun was it to actually pull on a live cat for that?
I agree.
It was way worth it.
Hey, look at the swirl on that.
Pretty. You could be a barrister.
A barrister? Am I going to work at Starbucks?
Barster.
Barster Hicks. I'm in my 7th child.
Are you saying weirds? All right.
Am I saying weirds?
Weirds.
They're weird, but they are weirds.
Weird weirds.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, this is so strong.
Jane of my soul. Out of control. Ooh, Jeff is teaching me how to draw.
Yeah,
he's a really good teacher. Should we show them?
I would like that.
I should go backwards in time though.
Start with the
the newest one and be like, this is what I really want to just
no.
It's
You
funnier.
gotta show your journey. It's all about the journey.
It's funnier to go the other way.
It's funnier, but just be honest. The Mindless Mob respects that.
Okay.
I need more cinnamon in this one.
I realized there was a couple things I need you to help me with his face.
Of course.
But we'll figure it out. You'll help me with it later. I
can give you a live one on air, or I can do it later.
We'll talk about. I'll ask you the questions on air, and people can hear about how your stuff.
Okay. Cool. I'd love to.
So,
this continues.
Yeah.
Hey, Yakuse's here.
Oh. Hey. And Anthony Scioli's here. So I'm going to try this masterful concoction. This is Soko and eggnog and cinnamon on top.
Mixed with a candy cane made of chocolate.
Oh, also, by the way, thinking of delicious drinks, there's a coffee truck nearby us where you can get CBD just put in your coffee.
I didn't overdo it. It's amazing.
I want to die. This is so good.
Yes!
Holy shit. Oh my God.
Still 100% on this shit. The food was great. This was great.
Date day is amazing. You win.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't figure out how to open that, but if you can, we should put that in. Raging Rhino says, are we drinking? If so, drink! Merry Christmas. Rhino, of course we're drinking. It's Christmas vacation. You gotta drink for that one in a second. Okay.
I figured out how to take this off.
Okay.
But I can't because my fingers are too big. You have to like pop these little tabs.
Oh, okay. I thought that might be what was up. I'll fiddle with it later. I don't want to get buried. I want to get lost in it if I do it now. I'm gonna try to feel the buzz. So I'm in that place where I'll deep dive into something retarded. I forgot to eat this.
Yes.
That's how retarded I am. I got so excited to drink. I was like, I'll wait. Booze first. Candy cane second.
I hope that got screenshotted by somebody. You look insane.
You know what my favorite about, right? We should play that game. We should see how it works. If you pause my videos at any point, I'm always making a stupid face. Like, if you go through and seek out a not stupid face, you can find them.
Jesse, I live with you. I know.
We should play the game.
We should keep drinking because people keep saying we could keep drinking.
I know.
Really quick.
Sam Williams says, "Hey, Jeff, my friend got me a Marty Moose glass last year for my birthday. Drinking eggnog from it now.
We were looking to buy those today. I couldn't find them anywhere. I have them in Cincinnati, but I didn't bring them out here.
Jesse, what do you think of Jalen Hurts? I got really drunk on Sunday and texted Kendo and Dion how sad I am about the fate of Carson Wentz. I'm a hardcore Wentz groupie and have been since the day the dude got drafted. I've been very, very sweet on him. For those guys who don't even know what language I'm speaking, Eagles sports. Quarterback, wonderful dude, bench. Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's hard to have anything bad to say about the dude. Everything, it's all there. He's still very green, you know? That's kind of it. It's clearly the talent's all there. When you make mistakes like intentional grounding in the end zone to pull a safety when you're opening fucking drive of the game, you're showing your greenness a little bit. Do I think he's their quarterback in the future? I don't think he's shown us anything yet that makes me say, yeah, he is. But he also hasn't shown anything that leads me to believe that he doesn't have that potential with the right coaching and guidance. Now, that said, I think the coaching is where the Eagles have gone the most wrong recently. And I think that's where they ruined Carson Wentz, quite frankly. I think he needs a special kind of coach who knows how to work with his weirdness to make himself shine. Not someone who wants to try to undo that and give him a whole new foundation. And unless they figure out where they went wrong and fuck shit up with Carson Wentz, they'll just do it again with Jalen Hurts. So they won't. They need to bring in coaches that can maximize the talent on their team, and they consistently have not done that, especially at quarterback since Flip left to go coach for Frank Reich in Indianapolis. So unless they can figure that shit out. Oh, yeah, and by the way, do something about their trainers because we are consistently the most injured team. Oh, yeah, but it's fine. This is the season where everyone's injured. Great. We have like 8 times the injuries of everyone else. And if you can't figure out those very big macro things, then whoever's at the helm of your team really doesn't matter. They'll just ruin Jalen Hurts, or he'll be just as ineffective as Carson Wentz became in the over time. The promise you saw from Carson, because it wasn't like it was one season wonder. He came out as a rookie and showed this flash and promise and then went away, and then dropped off immediately once you had tape on him. No, he came out as a rookie and he did pretty good. And then he had an amazing MVP-worthy season the next season. His stats the third season were just as good. There were just some defensive issues that robbed them from a lot of the victories. And then you had the play, really drop off. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, the trajectory was there. He was good and getting better. So what happened? And maybe the problem isn't with him, but the organization. So if the organization moves on from the quarterback but doesn't fix the problems, then it doesn't matter what I think of Jalen Hurts because it won't help. But all that said and done, I haven't heard a bad thing about him. I think he's got a good work ethic. I think he's a good fit for the team. I think he's got a really strong arm, and all the flash and potential is there. And I hope whatever the Eagles choose to do, that it works out for them. And I hope wherever either Wentz or Hurts end up in the long run, it works out for them too. So those are my very football thoughts.
I didn't know you got another 20. I was like, oh, that's the one for earlier. Nope, Tater's here. Shit.
Tater's here. Oh, Tater said, I love you guys. Sorry I was distant on both of your channels streams this year. My own struggles. Sorry. Hey, nothing to apologize for.
No explanation needed. Thank you for everything.
None whatsoever. You're always a great dude, and this year bit us all in the ass in a bunch of different ways.
In the balls.
Ow. I mean, it didn't bite me in the balls because I don't have any.
I know.
That's something me and the cats have in common.
Hey.
Poor kitties. All pussy, no balls.
That's good for me. Only when talking about you. Anything else is
whatever. That actually kind of makes a great riddle. Makes a decent riddle. How do you have a household with
5 men,
5 pussies, One set of balls and only one man. Or sorry, 5 pussies, one set of balls, but 5 men. It's a good rule. I like it. Can't ask the children that one.
You shouldn't.
No. But yes, let's hope the new year goes a lot better for all of us. Cheers to that, indeed, Tater. We love you. We're glad to see you. Super chats or no, we are always happy to have you as part of the Mindless Mob. You are an invaluable member of our crew. Oh, good. And that's perfect because we're still in our introduction, and I see from that icon that the man of the hour is here. Did I leave it over there? It doesn't matter. Okay. What?
It wasn't just sitting up there.
Hold on. I thought I brought it over here, but I could have not. It's fine. It's fine. I'll screen share and stuff anyway. So Tater doing that, and what?
I said you're fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. Yakase says pancake and perfect time.
Shit! Speak of the devil.
How did you do that? So he sent this while he was over here when I held him up for the game earlier. Literally, as I pulled this up to read, he was nowhere in sight. Nowhere in sight. And as I pulled this up to read, he's over on the table. So,
all he wants to do is smell the plastic. You're a little guy.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. Did you drink for it?
No.
Because you have to. I never drank for the football one either. I read into this whole big answer. I was like, I'll drink when I'm done discussing it. And then I forgot. So, yay, extra drinks for me.
Bikini 90s having a stream? Cool.
Nice. People should drop some likes over there.
Oh, yeah. You gotta put the thing on the screen.
Speaker Mind says, what the price is, guys? That's a good question. The rules for the drinking game. That's not affecting us at all. Thank you, Speaker Mind. What would we do without you? We'd forget to have rules.
Nope. He wants to chew on new ornament topper.
No, you can't.
This is what happens when you last minute Christmas shop.
To
decorate. We bought the gifts.
Oh, yeah.
10 times over. We bought a lot for Christmas this year.
We're awesome.
Yeah. It's like, hey, this year sucked. Let's really put a lot into Christmas and make it amazing.
Itis Team says, Merry Christmas, you guys. This is from me and Beth / Emily. She went to sleep early tonight. Best wishes this holiday season, you guys. Thank you, Itis Team, and thank you for
her too.
Being here. What a year. Look at that. Beth has been one of our most loyal listeners all year. Found Itis Team, brought him on board, and now she's going to bed, and he's still here listening.
I love it.
I fucking love it. The Mindless Mob grows every day. Keep it fucking coming.
I'll give a shout out to Beth too. She was super cool. Earlier in the year, she was going to go to that fan expo in Canada, and she was going to meet Jim Lee's autograph. And the fact that she was going the extra mile to do that was super cool. And then she sent me that awesome Carol Baskin mug, which I've used a lot. So Beth, if you see the replay, thank you from me too.
Damn straight. And Dr. Alex says, Merry Christmas, Jesse and Jeff. Yay! Thank you. Merry Christmas, Alex. Dr. Alex. And that brings me to the very special Doctor Who surprise that I teased y'all with. And if you've been coming around, you may know about this, but it's more exciting tonight, okay? But it's more exciting because as you guys have seen, the last time we talked about it was because I received my very own copy of this wonderful, wonderful work that I meant to leave the tab open for and didn't, but just give me 1 second. I'll be back. So,
it was exciting to talk about this too, because Jesse and I are getting ready to experience one of our favorite Christmas specials that we've never even discussed. The Doctor Who Christmas special where David Tennant first appears.
It's so fucking good.
Sword and all that shit.
It's so fucking good. So we're gonna I mean, this time of year, who can't if you've been a Who fan, how can you not be in a Who mood this time of year? I mean, the Christmas specials have been a staple of Doctor Who.
Until Jodie Whittaker.
Well, until they broke it. And they're such a fun and important way, you know, and have done so many things. I mean, classically, they have often been the way that they introduce a new Doctor or ride the bridge between a companion. You know, they've been very transitional. So they make them big and important and grand, and the Doctor's usually in some big emotional state. And then these big deal moments. you know, and it was a thing you look forward to. I remember when I was caught up and watching it live, how annoying it was that my family, all I wanted to do was watch the Doctor Who Christmas special, and my family would not. I was up in Connecticut, my family would not stop talking. You cannot, do not ever try to watch something for the first time up there.
When we tried to watch The Mandalorian with your other family,
you thought that was bad. Yeah. Forget it. That's not even half as bad. I love him, but goddamn. You know what you should do?
If you ever have phone calls that you have to make that you don't want to, make sure you just make them in front of those people, because then you can go, I can't hear. I'm sorry, it's too loud. I'll call you later. And then don't call back. You called once.
Damn straight.
Actually, you just say, hey, call me back. And then if they don't call you back, you win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, another one.
Yes, we do have another one.
This eggnog is really delicious.
It is. Matt Jacker says, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Yes.
I concur.
That's that's the song, right? Mm-hmm. The more we get together, the more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. It's a fucking... I swear that's a thing. Or I swear to God. Anyway, yeah. So to the point though, we've been without some good quality Doctor Who a lot recently. So that's fun. Sorry, I had to deal with somebody being a racist in the chat. Straight up, we had a racist in the chat and they just got blocked. So sorry, that just was really annoying when you see that, like a legit racist, like someone literally saying we need to do something about these blacks. So they're gone now. Bye. We don't talk like that on this channel.
Wait, they got rid of the black people?
Fuck you.
Sure. One half or so. Fuck me.
So anyway, so Dr. Alex, who's here in the chat now, which is awesome, is this wonderful guy who has been a follower of this channel for a while and has made some videos I've really, really deeply enjoyed, where he's broken down movie fights, sword fights in movies. He's a fencer over in the UK, has been for many, many years. And so it's a big part of his life as it is mine. And we've connected over that, many, many other things. And he's a huge lover of Doctor Who. Beyond that, back in the day when Doctor Who didn't suck, he wrote actual authorized stories, expanded universe stories and stuff. So he was feeling this dearth of Doctor Who and decided to do something about it. And now, so for the first time ever, I am reporting this to you, having experienced some of this on my own. And you can get this actually in a whole bunch of different forms, which is super duper cool. This is our sponsorship for the night. And by the way, I was given nothing to sponsor this. I thought it was going to be a glass. I was just like,
all right, Neo.
Given this is something I'm doing because I think this is 100% worth buying. And I say this having, being on my journey reading this. I have not yet quite finished it because
words, things, thoughts.
What? Time. Just time.
It's not on our side?
It's never been on our side, but it sucks because I'm like, so this is so great. So the whole thing is, so we wrote the alternate season. Well, you guys are going to love this because
it's what everybody dreams of doing.
Exactly.
Think about it. Everyone talks about, they want to do this with this character and this with that character, but they never follow through. And Dr. Alex followed through completely.
And so the best thing about this too is, when you hear someone pitch to you a really great, like, what if for the sequels, you're like, God damn, I wish you had written the screenplay, because you hear the way they talk about it, and you're like, you get it. You get all the pieces. You get all the parts. You get all the, So Dr. Alex gets it when it comes to Doctor Who. And not only does he get the all of that, the universe, the lore, the history, what makes sense, what doesn't, the way characters talk, what types of nostalgia, being an older Doctor Who fan himself, what type of nostalgia older Doctor Who fans are actually going to appreciate. So it's all there. And so it's like that person who had that great alternate vision didn't just follow through writing out the full story, but really produced it too. So you have a finished edited manuscript here that you can get for a few bucks and have it digitally right now in your lap to read tonight. In paperback, delivered in a couple of weeks. For a modest price. And it is a nice book. Like I said, I think my copy's over in bed where I was reading. I was reading it during most of the High Council tonight, actually.
And remember, I even said to you, too, when we showed it on the stream before, I was like, what a good quality book. It's,
it feels like a book,
it's hefty, not just in terms of page count, but it's a good quality stock for the
the pages are good quality, too. It doesn't feel like printer paper or something like that. No, it's nice. So
it's a real novel.
It's a book. And in addition to all of that, you don't even have to pay a cent to hear it read to you by the doctor himself, which is the real joy because his accent is awesome. And I would like, if you're skeptical, if you're like, does this guy really know what he's doing? For those of you who maybe felt led astray by season 1 or by season 12, the actual season 12 with Jodie Whittaker, female doctor, all these things, I would like to share just a little bit so we enter the story. I'll skip to the part that I want to share with you guys. So we jump in, and by the way, also it's exciting because he plays the guitar, and so he has these fun little. Also, I love the weird intro. So again, you have production value in here, and fun stuff. And he's TARDISing his way in here, and so there's a passage I really want you guys to hear though.
A large gunmetal grey box, perhaps the size of.
So we're in the TARDIS. So basically, where I'm jumping in is basically we're having the very first Doctor walking through the 12th Doctor. What had just happened, and you'll like this part, I think.
Down this surface, but steam further clouded the view inside.
So we're going to skip ahead a little.
At least to anyone familiar. The slowly pumping central column, while vast.
And that was there's a great little turn of phrase that we just skipped by too, where he talks about, and it's just such a great way to describe how the TARDIS changes from Doctor to Doctor, where he described it as having a bizarre appearance to anyone familiar with it, but yet an odd familiarity to anyone bizarre enough to be familiar with it. It was a weird turn of phrase but even his weird turns of phrases are very Whovian. It's good, right? That's the thing when we get to actually talking about the book itself. You'll hear what we're gonna hear. It's good writing too. It's not just a good story. It's quality literature. It's quality prose.
Sides, encasing strange role.
So,
or chose to ignore it, electing instead to take his question at face value. Yes, well, I shall always think of it as mine, naturally. But yes, this is the TARDIS contemporaneous with you. My TARDIS is nearby. I understand your confusion, though.
So, first Doctor talking to 12th Doctor, just where we jumped into.
Around him, looking for all the world like a conductor receiving applause. I do hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of redecorating a little. It was also dark, baroque, and, well, unnecessary. However, I left the layout and dimensions set in accordance with your current grandiose fetishes. The Doctor continued to clutch at his neck during this slightly condescending explanation, and indeed appeared to be utterly oblivious to it. "I'm still Scottish!" he cried incredulously, his eyes widened still further. "And a man!" he continued, almost yelling. Perhaps due to his systematic bent, the first Doctor decided to deal with the questions in order. "Are you Scottish? I don't recall ever being that good with accents. I must say that in the somewhat limited interactions we have had, you always sounded to me a little like that incarnation of ours with the floppy hat and the ridiculous scarf."
Tom Baker reference for
Nonsense!
Not the last one.
I've never sounded like that! The first Doctor shook his head in disappointment. "That is an absurd statement, not worthy of us." The Doctor shook his own head in irritation, dismissing this admonishment from his earlier self with a "Ha!" The first Doctor now turned to the second question. "And of course we resemble a human, but if you care to check your pulse, I think you'll find yourself quite Time Lord." The Doctor fixed the first Doctor with a hard stare. "That is not what I meant," he said slowly through clenched teeth. "No? No." "What then?" "I thought I regenerated into a woman." This time it was the first Doctor's turn to show surprise. He even gave a rare single explosive laugh. "Ha! How ludicrous!" The doctor looked somewhat ruffled by this response, and his tone was more than a little indignant and defensive when he responded. Ludicrous! What reason would you have to say that? The first doctor frowned and looked considerably unimpressed with his future self. Reasons, you say? Oh, let me count the ways. Firstly, I do not recall ever harboring a desire to be anything other than who I am, sex-wise, I mean. Never once caught myself wishing Susan could call me grandmother, nor even for a moment experienced the desire to learn the art of sucking eggs. The first doctor held up a finger to forestall an anticipated interruption from his older self. I know we change from regeneration to regeneration, but there is a certain core which remains, no matter how far you may wish to run from it, to run from yourself, he said, pointing at the doctor. Secondly, he continued, again cutting off the doctor's chance to respond, have you any idea how difficult it would be to achieve such a sex change? Well, the doctor began, the sheer number and complexity of treatments prior to transition would be highly disruptive to the business of everyday life. The first doctor went on. It would be time-consuming, requiring many resources, and would be difficult to conceal from others if someone were to conceal both the desire and the process of such a transformation. Not only would the transformation be a little unusual, but to conceal it would put it into a whole new category of oddity. Imagine, say, if some high-ranking official on Gallifrey had been conducting pre-transition procedures in secret for their own peculiar reasons. What if they were then struck down in the course of their duties and regenerated in front of some hapless palace guard? Can you imagine the confusion and bewilderment on the face of this poor guard, utterly unprepared for this most atypical and difficult of regenerations? He would be completely thrown by it. The doctor's eyes narrowed as he regarded the first doctor suspiciously. That's an awfully specific example, he said slowly. Is it? The first doctor responded innocently. I'm sure it's purely hypothetical. The doctor remained unconvinced, but for the moment had nothing to add. My point is, the first doctor ploughed on, that unless you had a strong, innate desire to effect such a change, or some desperate need to conceal your identity. At these words, the doctor's eyes narrowed again. There would be absolutely no reason for you or any other Time Lord to undergo a sex change regeneration. They are anything but spontaneous after all. The doctor stared at the floor, but his eyes were elsewhere, lost in the jumbled images within his mind. But it all seemed so real, he offered softly. That Cyberman weapon blast had done a lot of damage, a more dirty weapon than usual. Not intentional, I think. It just appeared to particularly crude and archaic type. It certainly seemed to be interfering with your regeneration more than it should, and this no doubt extended to our mind as well. But did it really seem so real to you?
This is the part. This is really listen to this.
I thought I was a woman. New clothes, new companions. And you explored, had adventures, new and exciting experiences? Well, not really. It was all a little prosaic. So, not like reality at all then? Our reality, I mean. We are always at the center of something challenging and unexpected, are we not? The doctor again sounded a little defensive, a part of him still clinging to the dream, the imagined life he had led. Well, not always. Sometimes we have periods where not much happens, sometimes years, sometimes decades. Yes, the first doctor countered. But we don't talk about those times, do we? Those are not the tales told in song throughout time and space, are they? But still, this life you saw, was it fun at least? The doctor looked crestfallen. Not really. So, not our reality at all then. Nothing but a fever dream. The first doctor concluded briskly. The doctor shrugged in stunned resignation, but said nothing. Then he caught sight of himself partially reflected in one face of the console's central column. Grey hair and...
So that's really the part I wanted you guys to really... So this is Dr. Alex. I'm going to get you guys the link to his channel if you guys want to go here. Definitely give him a sub. Definitely watch the videos. You can hear, like I said, you can hear him, have him read all of them to you, and you can get the physical copies. The link for the Amazon link is in the description for the video. I'll post it in the chat in just a second. And here's a link to the channel if you want to listen to him read more yourself. So where's the Amazon link to? Let me get you this guy. No, I don't want to do that. That's not what I wanted to click on? I want you to go. Just go away. I just want you to go away. I just want you to go away. Open an app. I didn't want it to open. No, I want it to go away, but I can't find it to make it go away. There it is. Go away. I don't want to. I want you to go away. Thank you. Okay. That one. Okay.
Oh, that's what happened.
What?
I didn't realize what you were trying to do and what had happened.
Oh.
I was like, what's happening? I'm just sitting here waiting.
And then there's the link to the book if you want to get a copy as well to read yourself at your own pace. So anyway, how many times did you guys, and don't worry, raise your hand. I am going to read what you said. It sent me to after we get to this, but I did want to get this in earlier in the show. So for those of you picking up on this, how many times do we say when they go wrong with our franchises, the only way to fix this is to wake up and have it all be a dream? So in case you weren't paying close attention, that's literally how this first chapter starts, right? Is here's why. It's a beautiful meta moment, of here's exactly why everything they did with this female doctor plotline is stupid and not Doctor Who and doesn't fit with the universe. Written very concisely and explained to you by none other than the very first Doctor. What a beautiful way to set it up. And if that structure to get you on track, for this new story, that alone I feel like should tell you everything you need to know about where the sensibilities of this author are when it comes to writing Doctor Who. And having read it too, right, I've already caught a Star Wars reference. There was another reference to something else. I can't remember what it was now. There's a reference to something else. There are myriad references to older Doctor Who's. K9 makes an appearance. And he gets it too. Like the little, the specificity. Part of the fun of K9 is he takes things very literally. And so one of the humps of making K9 a useful, or one of the the constant tropes is, K9 doesn't steer you correctly at first, or gets you frustrated because he answers literally the question you asked, not what you meant. And he gets that kind of thing, so it's that, he even has a nod to Sarah Jane Smith, all these things that and then right, so this is the kind of thing. It's like when you talk about how do you do your fan service done right? And we all say you need to be done by a fan. He needs to be someone who really loves this stuff too, who's not in it just to make a buck off of it, who's in it because they love it. They love creating it. So when you're talking about someone who literally does this as a hobby, as an extra, as an added thing, because he was so unsatisfied with season 12, he wanted to make it better and wanted to share it with anyone else who wanted it to be better as well. That's where their heart's in the right place. And it shows, it shines through. Let me count the ways. There you go, Shakespeare. So he's got a lot of classical literature references, all these things that are in Doctor Who. Oh yeah, forget it. Once you get into the story more too, there's been a zillion references already. We have Ode to Joy in here, and in the same playing Ode to Joy, a nod to a Jimi Hendrix song at the same time. It's really well done. And too, the nice thing, because a lot of people felt like Capaldi, they didn't really maximize Capaldi as someone who really could be a very classic feeling doctor. And I feel like Dr. Alex leans into the things that worked about Capaldi in the show. And then so the part of the gimmick too is you did regenerate, but you kept the same face. So you had this difficult regeneration. That's why you had the fever dream. That's why I had to show up to explain this all to you. That's why we had to do all this stuff. And that's why you kept the same face, but are still a different doctor. So it's this really great thing because he found one impetus that explained all of the things. Now we're not burdened with all this exposition at the top because it's literally one thing that explains everything you need to know. All of those big questions of, okay, where are we? What's going on? Why is this happening like this? Taken care of right off the get-go. And then you dive into your first sort of mini adventure, which is kind of acquiring your companion and all this and figuring out what's actually going on, which I would say to me is reminiscent of the Matt Smith cracking the universe timeline, but then they get into the TARDIS exploding things, fracturing whatnot. It's like if that timeline, I always felt like they did this really, really slow burn on that one, which was really, really good. but didn't pay it off the way they should have. This one feels like you took that timeline and paid it off immediately, instantly, and now the whole journey is fixing that. Which is something I think later Doctor Who, a lot of Matt Smith Doctor Who didn't spend enough time doing. Of like, you spent so much time making the mess and so little time, it was so easy to fix. It was so easy to clean up, as opposed to, it felt like, a lot of other things took a lot longer to get into, and even though things were building to the conclusion, your character maybe realized more of the web sooner and had to spend longer extracting themselves, So you really felt like you lived in the shit of it a little longer, as opposed to just nothing's going on. Oh my God, three episode arc to a season finale. What? None of this was earned. So, and speaking of 3 episode arcs, or there's a 3 chapter arc to make an episode specifically. So you're building this book, and so after your intro, you come into a 3 chapter arc, which feels like a full 45-minute episode of Doctor Who. And then you go into episodic chapters that, mini episodes, and then you build to another longer arc at the end. So the structure mimics a good season of Doctor Who. Usually, you come with an intro, introduce the new Doctor, and then introduce the new companion, and then often you'll go on an arc with the companion in the beginning to try to really flesh out their relationship with the Doctor, how they interact with them, how they do all that stuff. Then you can have your fun one-offs where you start to sprinkle in your exposition that's going to build towards your finale, and then your arc to close out the finale, obviously, to give your, a satisfying conclusion. So the book is structured the way you'd want a season of television to be structured. It really reads like a miniseries. So it's kind of like getting, instead of a Doctor Who single episode Christmas special, a whole miniseries of Doctor Who Christmas specialiness. And for me, I mean, he just nails it, doing the little, he gives you a slight voice and character change. So you're always tracking who's talking. Also, by the way, in one of his older stories, Doctor Who stories, I make an appearance as a character. So that's cool. And his author's right here in the chat too. So if you have any questions for him, fire away. He says, I'm also heavily influenced by Douglas Adams, and he didn't tend to hang around and dawdle when writing. He's fast paced and gets to the points. Always a great quality. And it's called The Doctor Reads the Doctor by the Doctor, which is awesome. He's spacing out there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Ready to get back to some drinking?
I have to.
You seem excited. You look ready to get to some napping.
No, I'm ready for bed. It's like midnight almost.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one whose stream went 2 hours long.
That went 4 hours long.
What?
I wish it only went 2 hours long.
No, 2 hours over.
Oh.
Longer. But you're really yep. But anyway, so this is actually the nice thing about us starting late is that Alex is here. Dr. Alex is here. So this stream is brought to you by The Doctor Reads the Doctor by the Doctor. And once again, before we click away, we'll drop some of those links. So there's the YouTube channel to which you should subscribe and watch. And then there is also the Amazon link for the physical copy itself, which is also in the description for the video. So all that stuff is good. Greg, no, we are not spending 30 minutes on Alex's Super Chat. We are spending, this was the planned introduction for the show. And if you read the description for the show, you can see right in there, sponsored by this book. But we will get back to the Super Chats so we can drink more. No, this is our featured spot for one of our featured friends. Great friend of the show. Awesome member of the Mindless Mob. Great supporter of the Phantom Menace. And just all around good guy, Dr. Alex Lees. And Mobybox, you do got to watch some Doctor Who, and you should definitely check out this story because it's awesome. And say hi to Dr. Alex because he is hanging around in the chat. So A+, drop likes on the stream if you have not done so already, and get ready. Jeff, put on your drinking pants.
No.
Oh, okay.
The shorts. Not putting pants on.
That's fine. Then keep on your drinking shorts.
That I can do.
So we're bought back a little ways. Canadian Spider-Man says, Merry Christmas. Great year. Thanks. Working in 7 hours. Woo-wee. Well, good for you, Canadian Spider-Man. You've been working like a motherfucker this year. Hopefully you're rolling in that Dow. Rolling the Dow. And hopefully you are in bed now.
He is, because I saw him say goodbye earlier.
Oh, bye, Canadian Spider-Man. I'm sorry we missed you, but thank you for the Merry Christmas. I hope you have a good one. Mark C says EVS is reporting that your boy Zach just walked away from the Mark Wade lawsuit.
I heard about that on the High Council.
I haven't followed any of that stuff, so
you don't really know your boy Zach or any of that stuff, do you?
I know who he is. I don't really know about the lawsuit though. I just know who your boy Zach is. I know like a lot of the shit that's gone on, but I don't know about the lawsuit. So no.
Or it's just like your boy Zach started off critiquing comics.
Yeah.
And the people started paying attention to him.
Yeah.
And then it got, I don't know the exact lawsuit. All I know is that before there was a Fandom Menace and anybody else, he was doing the shit, but for comics.
Yeah.
And then I came in and really just did my own thing with Star Wars and already had a channel and a show.
Yeah.
Like I already existed, but he was that first guy, and then we all kind of got connected through him.
Yeah.
Because he's the conduit that people don't realize goes.
I remember that. I knew that. Yeah.
So I hope he's okay. I don't know him well enough. I just don't wish him anything but good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but I wish him the best. I have nothing but good feelings towards him. So, and we have Sir Bruno House Roundhead says, I would like to see a scene with Mark Hamill as Luke talking to an older Grogu about the events of The Last Jedi as being a nightmare he had. So when that happens, now you'll get me on board with, okay, the sequels aren't real. But until then, it's all, I hate to say it, it's all wishful thinking.
And it will. The funny part is, folks, if you really want this shit, don't play into the wish fulfillment. Demand it. Like, here's the thing. You guys want a Luke Skywalker redeemed? I don't know what happened on last week's episode yet, fully. I've seen it. I haven't reconciled it. But you got Luke Skywalker back and doing something cool. That doesn't happen unless there's pressure.
True. That wasn't going to happen unless they were listening.
Fucking did it. Like, I almost wanted to call my show a Fandom Menace Victory Lap. Like, even though I don't love everything they're doing, this is what you guys wanted. You're winning.
I mean, exactly.
You have won this battle. Not the war. This battle is yours.
Exactly. But that's the whole point, though. And that's the point that we can't forget. We won a battle. You go to sleep after you win the battle, you lose the war. Because you just go, oh, yeah, we won. Yeah, it's over. Roll over. No, then you give up, and KK just goes back and winning.
Stay vigilant, folks.
There is you can demand change while be grateful for what you have. You can say thank you for a great Luke Skywalker scene, but that doesn't fix what you've done, and it's not enough. Right? It's not absolutes. That's the whole thing. They want to paint us into these corners.
We're not Sith people.
They want to treat us exactly like we're either on board fully or we're not. And look, I'd say it. In that regard, they're succeeding. Look at what they've done to us. Right? We are the ones who looked at The Last Jedi and said, you want to like this movie, that's fine. Why are you treating us like crap for not liking it? We're seeing that within the Fandom Menace now. People who, because that's the whole thing. I'm not seeing now. Point them to me if it's happening, and I will come down on them with the same force and fury. But I am not seeing a lot of people mad at people who liked this just because they liked it. I'm not seeing a lot of people going around being like, oh, you're a bad person for liking it, or how could you? You betrayed the fandom because you like this scene, or you're a terrible person, or you're a shill, or you've sold out to Disney. We're not hearing that about this, right? Which is good because you shouldn't. Unlike in the around season 1 where you did, or season 1 you had a lot of that. People who liked it caught hell from other members of the fandom who said you can't like it because you're a shill for Disney. You sold out if you like it.
Oh yeah, I remember getting that shit because I thought the first episode was good.
I liked it, and then going through season 2, even the beginning of season 2, we were getting that shit. Any of the episodes you like in the beginning until they brought in Bo-Katan. Oh, you like that? You're a shill for Disney.
Well, the fucked up part is that happened, but it was one episode at the time because the next episode was the Frog Lady.
Yeah.
And we bitched about it.
Exactly. So the whole thing is, we're a show for Disney. Great. I talked about the episodes I liked and didn't like from the first season. I talked about the episodes I liked and didn't like from the season.
I hated the Bo-Katan and I hated the fucking Ahsoka episodes. You cut those out, you got a much tighter season.
And the whole thing is, I don't hate those episodes just because they're Bo-Katan and Ahsoka. They are lesser episodes for myriad other reasons as well. The people who then you have a whole group of people though who only like those episodes, who have hated every piece of Mandalorian except for maybe Baby Yoda before this, but only like Clone Wars characters getting shoved in here, Rebels characters getting shoved in. Now we like it. which to me, I'm like, okay, that seems a little hypocritical, especially because you spent so much time telling me that how bad the show was. That's the whole thing. It's like, I wouldn't care so much if I hadn't given hours of my life in the past year-ish to hear hours worth of people telling me how terrible the show is, how bad it is, how bad the writing is, how bad this is, how bad that is, how bad that is. Don't get a word in edgewise, and the second you do, oh, no, you just don't know. No, it's just bad. No, it's just this. You just don't understand how bad it is. And hearing the same fucking people now try to tell me why the actual dog shit episodes that I'm saying are bad for plot and structure reasons are good. Literally, the biggest SJW moment this season is Bo-Katan flying in, telling the Mandalorian how he's been doing it wrong the whole time. You have this woman character come from literally nowhere. We have no introduction to her. We have no background on her. She flies in and tells the main character, who we've known and have watched be a major badass repeatedly, tell him how he's been doing it wrong the whole time. That is your stereotypical SJW moment. And you had people who haven't liked a single episode of the Clone Wars come out and say, "Oh my God, I loved it." So that's fine. You loved it. Great. But I don't ever want to hear again about how this episode is woke or that wokeness is a problem. That's fine. You can love this episode and hate these other ones. But don't give me the shit about how that's woke and this isn't, because that's just not, that doesn't track. You can come in to the end of the show and go, I'm on board with Luke Skywalker now. I love this. This is great. Okay. But don't try to tell me that, thank God Jon Favreau did all of this without KK's knowledge or consent when this entire season was backdoor pilot so she could reignite her version of the Star Wars universe. That's all it is. And so that's the whole thing too, though. But again, so we went through this. We dealt with this as people who were totally fine with the season, last year, the first season, totally fine, with the first episode of this season and all that shit, but had to hear it from everyone else about how do you like that? It's so bad. It's so this, it's so that. And now the same people, when we're saying, how do you like this? This is so bad, are going, you're a hater. You're a this. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. And I'm going, how are you different than all of the people who liked The Last Jedi and did the same shit to us when we said, well, you can like that movie. That's fine, but I don't. Because that's what I'm saying. You can like this show, that's fine, but I don't. You can, think whatever you want about it, but I don't see how it fixes anything. And that's fine. We can both think these things, but for some reason, y'all are doing the same shit of, it's not okay that you think something different from me. I have to punish you and tell you why you're bad and wrong for thinking something is different. Like, I don't need you to be wrong. I just need you to understand that you're handing KK a win when you embrace this like this, because once again, battle, not war. But that's all. Any hoozle. Oh, since we were on the topic, though, I did want to read what Raging Rhino had to say about that. It says, hey, Jesse, I agree with 100%. Mando is not good. It wasn't just about Luke Skywalker being destroyed. It was about the lore being broken, too. Yes, if you get a chance on your stream, please make that point. For example, hyperspace. If you can just make a jump from anywhere, which they do in Mando, what is the point of a blockade? Example, the beginning of the Phantom Menace. Great point. All of the thing when we look, that is one of the things, it's an important part in the original trilogy too. Jumping through hyperspace ain't like dust and crops. You're not just charting your destination. You're charting a course that doesn't take you through a planet or a star. But now we can just push button and it's like fucking warp. It's just warping somewhere. That's a great point. Also, how did Mando find that Imperial shuttle at the beginning of the episode and it just so happens to have the cloner dude on it? Small world. That's true. That is very true. We did just kind of jump in media race on that one without. Well, that's kind of a bit of a Deus Ex Machina.
No, it's not though, because Boba Fett's a bounty hunter and he's a bounty hunter, and they're both trackers. That's nitpicky and bullshit. I don't even like Disney Star Wars because we're coming into the middle of the story. I could make that argument before seeing Rogue One. How did they find them? How did they? I don't think that's a good argument.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I don't think that one's good either. But the blockade point, the hyperspace point, I have thought about that. I've thought about that a lot.
They ruined that with The Last Jedi. Come on,
they did
jumping through shit. And where was this? I understand that they didn't write it into Star Wars before because it was fucking stupid. That's why they didn't write it. So if you introduce something so stupid into Star Wars, then I can go, why didn't you introduce before? Because it's stupid and lazy. That's what Disney Star Wars has been the whole time. Stupid and lazy. Rhino's right about that shit. When your fucking president says we don't have books to pull from, and you say, well, we're going to get rid of all the books in general in the first place. Like, You don't get to excuse this dumb shit in your movies. You have to follow these things.
It's true.
They exist.
It's true.
You don't get to charge me $10 a month to watch that shit on Disney Plus and then not pay attention to your movies. Like, I understand the frustration. I'm with you guys all the way.
So here's something, because I want to read this to you. I just want to read you a tweet that somebody wrote about this, about the ending of the show, and see if you agree or disagree with how it's worded, because I don't agree. And the thing is, this is somebody, this is a fandom editor that a lot of people listen to. They said there are plot holes in most stories, but when a story is as entertaining and emotionally moving as this one, they cease to matter. It's like a great magician can make you forget it's a trick. A great magician can captivate you. This was wonderful. And I don't think that's true, because I feel like you're just making those concessions. Like, this is let me say that to me, that reads like the SJW reviews that I hate. The ones, the video games or the movie reviews where they literally, oh, well, there's all these plot holes and problems and this and that, but the main character is a transgender woman who's Black and Asian and this and that, 5 out of 5. Like those ones where it's like they literally, you read the actual review, they write out everything that's wrong with it, and it's like a middling, like 6.5 out of 10, and they give it a 10 out of 10, and you're like, you wrote out a really good, solid critical review, and then at the very end you went, but all that didn't matter because of these a few really great moments that touched my fifis, and literally that's it. These moments gave me fifis, and now it's all okay. So like this again, is somebody in the fandom making videos that people respect about, Disney, Star Wars and stuff, literally making excuses for them the way SJWs make excuses for bullshit media. And at some point, you got to start looking at those things, who's selling you a narrative and who's selling you the truth, because everyone's going to tell you they're selling you the truth. Hell, maybe I'm selling you a narrative right now by trying to tell you that you need to cut through the bullshit and find out who's selling you the truth. I don't know. What does Wesley say in The Princess Bride? Life is pain. Anyone who says differently is selling something. I won't ever tell you that life isn't pain, so that's how you know I'm not selling something. Life is pain. That's what I'll do. Anytime I say life is pain, I'm going to follow it up with some truth shit. But anyway, I love your Santa hat, by the way. Thanks. It's magical. Mm-hmm. You're magical. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so the whole thing is like, you don't have to take my word for it. Look for the patterns yourself. There are people who follow a narrative. There are people who follow the fans. There's some, you watch your YouTubers, see what they do. See the timing of their videos. Some of these things too, it's really interesting when the Luke Skywalker episode drops and certain people who usually are very fast to have a take all of a sudden wait a day or two before dropping a take. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe because they're gauging the fan reaction to see what the majority of people think so they can align their take with what their fans are going to like more.
I put out Good Morning Pop Culture the very next day. I don't do that show because I don't want to commit because it kills the channel. That's the full reason I ended the show, because the channel doesn't grow. Everyone that likes it, cool, but YouTube hates it. So that's why it's dead. Long story short, I felt so compelled to do that. And I was going to go live right away. I wanted time to have an opinion and form my own thought. Like, I'm not worried about any of that stuff. Like, let's drink, though. Like, because I'm thirsty.
Let's drink.
Yeah.
So, I think this might be the next one. There might be one in between.
About the other one, though?
No, that was actually the next one. Perfect. Are we doing more of the velvet, or do you want to do? Oh, too much.
Yeah, it's like got that fake chocolate flavor, and we're drinking it like this much at once, and not mixing it.
I actually really like it.
It's all you. I'm just gonna drink this other thing.
Tight. Can you pour me a one? I'll drink more of that.
Yeah, this bottle's not gonna last long.
No, because we have Tater. He's at it again.
What you need to? Oh, there you go.
Actually, look at what I'm holding,
yes,
and not just wantonly throw drinks over my shoulder.
I don't want to be. Because I have to leave the stream to go wash off. Because I don't want that syrup on me.
That'd be gross. Ugh.
It's so thick. That's why I'm.
So
and like,
thick.
it's leaving. There's a weird film on the glass. Just.
Tater says drinking pants on my side too. Oh, What's the next movie you guys want to see? I mean, the next movie we're probably gonna see is Wonder Woman because
but
it's
yes,
just
want to see.
happening.
I want to see the new James Bond movie because it's supposed to have been out for how many months now? It's supposed to be out in April, then November, now next April. I don't even care about all the political shit people want to bitch about. I just want to see the next James Bond movie. I've seen the trailers for it's a year late. We've never lived in a world where we're like, oh, this movie comes out, and then a year later it comes out. Like, video games get delayed all the time. Movies don't that are done get delayed.
Yeah, not the ones like this
So-
done. I had mine and then I lost it.
What is coming out though?
Black Widow.
You don't want to see Black Widow. We never talk about Black Widow.
I will watch it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, like the Wonder Woman thing. I will watch Wonder Woman tomorrow
what
or
am I
whenever.
looking for? John Wick 4.
Fair, that's in
I'm
the
looking forward to John Wick 4. That's happening.
Wrong. I think
I
The Matrix 4 is going to suck ass.
I think it's going to suck
John
ass.
Wick 4 is going to make more money.
think it's going to be a better movie. Greg Kirby says, go buy more eggnog so we can hear kitty meows. So you figured out the code is someone I leave and they go nuts at the door.
I talked about it. No, I talked about it specifically
Mm.
on the show. Like I took a moment
Mhm.
to just because Jane was so
Jane
loud. It wasn't
was-
like a. It was meow.
So I'm drinking this for Tater. I'm drinking this for other people. So I just want you to know that in case
You should
you're
drink it for
wondering.
the vine.
Good.
I didn't want to put this candy cane in there because I didn't think it would add anything, but it's broken down. Now this kind of tastes like the candy cane.
Is it good?
Yes, because this is chocolate mint.
Yep.
Man, I made a good decision.
Speak your mind says, drinky, drinky. Yes, sir.
Winky, winky for the drinky, drinky.
What are we congratulating Emily on?
Being nice. Oh, cool. Hey.
Yay! I'm so glad things are going well with you guys. That's
Happy.
awesome. It's so fun because like we've kind of I feel like you gotta watch Beth grow up. I mean, like I know it's been like a year, but you know,
It's been more than a year.
I mean, yeah, she's been
because I've
around.
been here for about a year. And
That's
you
true.
always-
And Beth,
back when her full
Diggow.
name was back when you didn't know how to pronounce it, she was Beth Diggow.
Beth Diggow back in the day.
Yeah,
Good old Beth Diggow.
I think that was the first person on your stream that I would recognize regularly because the name was unique.
Right? It was.
I'm like, oh, Beth Diggow. Okay,
There you
cool.
go.
That's probably somebody's last name. And then she explained it to you. I'm like,
Mm.
we actually never make that mistake in real life because we'll talk about listeners will come up all the time.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, the Carol Baskin mug. I'm like, that bitch Carol Baskin. I'll be drinking a coffee. And Jesse will be like, oh, yeah, good old Beth the Goose in the mug. And stuff. Or the shirt, the Lion King, Tiger King one, or stuff like that.
You know, we forgot to do go to the pet section at Walmart for the kitty stocking stuffers.
Oh,
We could go on a long walk to Petco tomorrow, though. If you want an adventure.
maybe.
We'll see.
I don't want to commit because I'm drinking.
That's fair.
It's
But
you're not
there are
allowed
also-
to drink and drive. I'm not allowed to make
Actually,
a
no,
commitment when
there's a
drunk.
PetSmart up in that where the Joann's is. That's not as far.
I just-
That's not that far.
I can't make the commitment while I'm drinking. I'm probably going to say yes in the
At
morning.
some point, we have to stuff the kitty's stockings, and Ralph's just does not have a very good selection.
Well, here, Shit Pancake loves Martinelli's. I'll do it on air right now. Come here, Shit Pancake.
Actually, here, you know what
Happy holidays, buddy.
You know what you
Merry
should do?
Christmas.
you know what you should do? Where do those chow mein noodles go? You just pour them in there.
I thought we were going to just take one of these and put a bunch of food cat treats so they have to go to the bottom
Yeah.
to get it. Like, I thought that's what it was going to be. He eats those all the time, of course.
I don't know if they have a potent enough smell to draw them into the bag though. But no, yeah, I was thinking we would do that. You know, just like sprinkle a bunch of catnip, throw a bunch of treats in there. We'll take videos for you guys. Don't worry.
I got a rock.
Um,
Oh, I should do that one year for the WCBS Christmas where, like, you know, everybody gets the gift of the Charlie Brown. He goes, I got a rock. I should go, I got the rock. And just hold up an action figure. I'm like, hey, I stole it for myself. Oh, wait, Jesse. You get another bottle of Martinelli.
we do. Merry Christmas, says the Rookie Critic. Hope you have a fun holiday. Now, who would win at arm wrestling between you two? Let me tell you, if that ever happened, and for some Deus Ex Machina reason I won, one crazy crackpot is going to get so fucking rich because the odds would be so against me on that one that it was something random, like, I don't know, your biceps separated right
Or
at
I
the beginning of the
Died.
like it was something like random where like, oh my god, you had a random injury and had to forfeit, during the match. One person who wanted to take those odds is gonna have put down like $100 and like retire on that money. Anyway, I should have done that on the Eagles Super Bowl, by the way. Because I believed that hard. I just really didn't know how sports betting worked, but I should have because
you lived out here. You could have went to Vegas. You have no excuse.
I really still don't understand how this shit works.
Just go somewhere and say, I want to put 100 on the Eagles winning.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't, but I should have because I would have been very wealthy.
Were they not the favorites?
No, God, no. I guess they were the underdog they were the first seed, and they were the underdog in every single one of their playoff games.
Okay, so I only rooted for them because of It's Always Sunny. So I just was like, oh, cool, the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl. It's Always Sunny. Let's cheer for them. Loudy had his jersey and all that stuff.
They were the underdogs in every single game. They were such a long shot to win because they're playing with their backup quarterback.
Jesse, I had never watched an Eagles game to completion until I met you.
Not even that Super Bowl?
No, because I don't watch the full Super Bowls.
Oh.
Sometimes I just get up and leave. I have never paid full attention.
Great game too.
It's fine. I'm glad they won.
Game. That's you gotta
understand. There's a fill party. Sometimes the Super Bowl's on the small TV while he's got some bullshit video game on. Then he switches. So yeah, I never sat through a full football game with the Eagles. Because the time I saw the Bengals play live, they played not the Eagles.
The rookie critic says, "What is this war of stars you speak of?"
Let's tell the audience what happened to us. So the other night we're in bed watching TV, and I'm trying to pull a prank on Jesse because we've been drinking. So I turn on Disney Plus, and I turn on the Dutch version of Homeward Bound or something, and it freaks her out because she can't. Being drunk, her brain can't comprehend.
I'm falling asleep. I think I dozed off one point. So you're in that weird half awake, half asleep. You know when you get really, really drunk and you start getting really, really sleepy, and you're already not sure what's real anymore. And so he puts it on, and my brain's trying to reconcile this very familiar movie and these very familiar sounds with not English.
Now, the reason we're setting this up is for a reason. This wasn't just, let's tell you something funny that happened.
Which, by the way, Dutch is a weird one to make, too, because it has vaguely English-sounding things to it. So already fucked.
It was intentional. So, long story short, Jesse and I are drinking again. She goes, let's see what this Lego Star Wars special is like. So we turn it on, and we're sitting there talking it through the opening real quick. And then Yoda's talking, and we don't understand what he's saying. And we're sitting there looking at each other, and we look at the TV, we turn it up. Yoda's speaking Dutch. But they use the Yoda voice in Dutch, and I love it. That's the reason I brought it up, because you did the Yoda voice. Dutch, folks, you've not lived until you've heard Dutch Yoda. So do yourselves a favor.
Go to the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special, or any Star Wars. Any Star Wars that you can put in the Dutch.
Dutch, yeah.
And just go to Yoda.
Actually, watch anything in Dutch. I'd argue. Watch. You know what'd be amazing in Dutch? Bob Ross. Because softly spoken German is oddly comforting. So imagine softly spoken Dutch, which is even more
beautiful. Which is funny language. Because softly spoken German is so soft, but strongly spoken German is so harsh. Yeah. Lando's German is very soft. Unless he goes, die, bitch!
Lando's Deutsch ist schlecht. Sehr schlecht. Ist ein Bitch.
Sehr schlecht. Lando is.
I said his German is bad. His German is bad. Lando is a bitch. That's what I said.
Poor Lando. And Rookie Critic might be drinking tonight because he also does another super chat that says, "Big bad boys bought bodacious bomb babes, bumping butts, beating berries, backing bowls, bearing beavers, and bringing bravely baked boiling bowls."
I heard beavers, and I'm on board.
You spelled butts wrong. You wanted the one with 2 T's.
Because he cannot lie.
Dun, 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 dun,
you should play that video on your Patreon.
Big butts in a cow.
People join your Patreon to watch that video.
So once upon a time, I was drunk at a bar.
With me.
Shocking. With Jeff. Rosetta Allen was also there. And Proper. And that Casey fam. And that song came on. And Jesse got up and started grinding on the Jeff.
Yes.
And did sexy dances.
In a very public place with a very big butt. It was very nice.
It was good.
Everybody was watching us the rest of the night because then we went downstairs during the karaoke and we'd sing. That was the best night we had all year. Honestly, that day she came up, we went down to Santa Monica. We had lunch with Anna. We ran into what's his name, Sal whatever. We ran into him at the fucking place. Like everything that day was perfect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to come back to work. I had a hell of a show. I come back, then the party starts. Mom was yeah, that was the best day I had this year. Yeah, I love my mom. It was wonderful to see her, but that was the best day.
That was good.
Thanks, Balam. You made my day amazing. I hope he's watching.
I do too. He'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
What a dude.
You're my favorite.
Speak your mind. This is drinky. Jesse needs more egg schnoggy. Since
I should be an asshole, and I should make Jesse's egg schnoggy super hard, but I won't.
You
Won't.
Need to be nice.
That's a little less than I put in last time.
You didn't have to put in less.
I was trying to fuck you up. Look it. I have things I want to do tonight beyond whatever we had planned.
Me.
Well, that was going to happen no matter what, but I meant like we have other stuff we want to do tonight still.
Like me.
Oh, bang, don't worry.
Okay, I just wanted you to do me.
I'll do you. No, what guy in a relationship with a woman who's as interested as you are in me, like what guy is going to go, no, I'm not going to. What the fuck? What an idiot. You have the thing everybody wants. Why throw it away? What the fuck?
Press 1 in the chat if you think Jeff and I should have sex tonight.
Don't ask the... Look, it's going to happen, folks. I'm sorry. I always believe in fan choice and stuff. This is something you don't have a say in. It's happening.
Oh, it's a poll. They have no influence.
No, that ain't the poll, okay? They don't have any influence any of this.
I'm asking them to press 1 if they want us to have sex tonight. We're having sex tonight.
I was like, yeah, it's going to happen no matter what.
I don't care what they want.
Oh, there's a lot of ones. Sweet Pea really wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Press 1 if you want to watch us have
Yeah.
sex tonight.
Well, for a low fee of $29.99, you can join the Mindless Bullshit
Holy man.
where we will make custom content.
Do you want to
where we bitch about the Last Jedi's we have
while
sex.
having sex? Oh my god, we should do that.
No.
You want to have an OnlyFans with me?
No. My grandma died last year. This will kill my mom. I can't handle that.
My max power says 0.
Yeah.
High five.
There's a reason we make money talking about Star Wars, not making porn. Yeah.
It's my favorite shit picking noise.
This is one of my favorite ones too.
Because he does it for a lot of things too. He does yeah.
I like how you talk about him like he makes the noise. You make the noise.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Movie Box wants to watch. Oh God, Big Joe, yeah! Hey, we did that yesterday.
I hope this is not the same. I hope this is not just JoJo reimagined.
No, Big Joe's a regular.
Oh, good, because JoJo is
on
the
your
racist.
channel. No, yeah, that's definitely Big Joe's.
I remember Big Joe. Just Chachi-san, that is the shit pancake noise, not the. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely is not. By the way, we will wear the hats. So join me. The Mindless Bullshit OnlyFans only in these hats.
Only in these hats. Only. That's what our OnlyFans should be. It should only be us banging, bitching about The Last Jedi, and during holidays we wear like one themed piece of outfit.
Deal. So I can't wait till fucking on St. Patrick's Day where we'll dress up like leprechauns and plow each other.
I can't wait till Tu B'Shvat where we dress up like trees.
And plow each other. I can't wait to dress up like the Easter Bunny and plow you and dress you up like an egg. I mean, that makes no sense. Just like eggs on Easter with the bunny.
Happy International Women's Day.
Sorry, I'm out of the country that day. I'm off the planet that day.
I'm intergalactic that day. Thank you very much.
You know the world between worlds and all that bullshit? I'm
there. I'm between those worlds. No, thank you.
On International Women's Day, I would rather watch Captain Marvel.
I like that our relationship is traditional in the sense that one of us is always the person who puts things in the other one, with the sole exception of my tongue in your mouth.
That's true.
I would say that would be the exception. My finger and your nose has yet to happen, and I feel like that should stay that way.
Yeah. Let's drink some more.
Yeah. So I have to drink for this one because it
I
came and you didn't make my drink.
Did I do it right? We should talk about Christmas soon.
Probably. No. George Kirby.
George Kirby. Hi, George.
Kirby. Greg Kirby. Says George. This is George right under it. George ruined Star Wars first. 1 holiday special, 2 Ewoks movies, 3 re-editing, 4, 5, 6.
The prequels.
4 of the prequels, 5 leaving Kathleen Kennedy in charge, 6 selling to Disney. You're not wrong, Greg Kirby.
I'm not going to fight you on that. I don't make excuses
Jeff
for
makes
George
these
Lucas.
points. You're not wrong. I do have I will say, the thing is, ruining Star Wars doesn't bother me half as much as blaming the fans for not liking the Star Wars you ruined. And no extent, even if George Lucas had acted the exact same way that Disney did, it still would never have rubbed me quite as wrong because there's an added pretension. Haha, movie box, yes. There's an added pretension in telling all the fans that we're the ones who are wrong about how Star Wars should be when you didn't even create it. Like when you don't have any greater ownership to the IP than we do. That's where it really rubs me the wrong way. So, yes, George Lucas committed the first sins in damaging his own world and his own lore and set us up on this trajectory. That said, I do feel like the sins of Disney are greater as a whole, but I'm with you. There are things that Lucas has done that I won't make excuses for either. I understand why he sold to Disney. It sucks for the rest of us. Hey, Baltimore guy, our favorite super chatter, says, Merry Christmas. Come. Be one with the mindless. Yeah.
Baltimore guy, I hope your Christmas is fine. Comma.
Because you guys are fine. Comma. I love it so much. And Big Joe would very much like to see us do the sex later. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed another one. Big Joe says...
There's a drink for Big Joe's, though.
Whoa, 69.
So do we just add those together? Or is that a series of multiple decimal points? Because remember, in Europe, they use a common set of decimal points.
That's true.
So is that just like one?
I'm just counting them all as upvotes towards sex, and then taking the 69 as his personal viewing request.
If we were going to start one, we'd take requests. That'd be the most fun part. Because, like, you guys, like, we'd be limits, but it's like, do this.
The one thing is that you and I could talk extensively about what we would actually do if we had an OnlyFans and tease the hell out of our fans because we're never going to actually do it.
Yeah. But nobody wants to hear the guy that talks about Star Wars about plowing, so.
Marcos A says, I'm really glad Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni didn't abide by these words. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. She wanted that, KK. She did.
Don't forget that one, folks.
Well, but this is the nice thing. So here's one of the things, too, though, that I think The Mandalorian proved to the Disney franchise. And that is good. That is, we talk about the battle and the war, right? Don't let your guard down because if you don't have to fight every day. You don't be mad. You don't have to hate it. You can like and enjoy and love the end of Mandalorian if you want to. There is nothing wrong with that. But don't forget, who is pulling the strings on this? Do not kid yourself and delude yourself into believing that Kathleen Kennedy had nothing to do with this season of The Mandalorian, that she wasn't all over this. Because what was happening prior to Mandalorian Season 2, or prior to Mandalorian Season 1? Gear Up to Rise of Skywalker, this big old fucking stinker. All of their properties now, all these projects that we got announced, suddenly they're backpedaling on. They're not happening anymore. All of this to me, bodes very well for the fandom, bodes for getting Kathleen Kennedy out the door. Why is she going to sit on a sinking ship when she can cut her losses, say, I did the sequel trilogy, I made all these movies, blah, 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 and then go off and do whatever, pet project she wants to, or just slide into retirement. These things are all, possible. That's where I think we were headed. But wait a second. We got to bite on this Mandalorian thing. We are testing the waters with our Clone Wars character. That their new season of Clone Wars did pretty well. We got some bites here. I really think Kathleen Kennedy goes to Jon Favreau and says, hey, I know you got this Mandalorian show and stuff, but can we dabble around in this a little bit? We'll make it up to you. We'll give you the Book of Boba Fett. We promise. We will have no involvement in that. You do whatever the hell you want as long as it doesn't touch our canon lore and all that shit. Do whatever you want. And if you let us do this, done. That's what I think happened, and I think that he went for it. He bit. That's why we had these two identities. You have Kathleen Kennedy planning her backdoor pilots, planning her new future in the show, realizing, what's marketable now, having a better sense of that, and then you have what Jon Favreau's actual vision for the show is. And so the victory comes for us, though, is exactly that. In Lucasfilm realizing that killing the past is not the way to go. That bucking the old lore, getting rid of things that came before that fans were very attached to is the wrong move. And so that's good. That is very, very good. Keep being vocal about what you like and what you don't. So this is my problem. That tweet I read to you earlier about the fandom menacer who is so willing to roll over and say, had all these problems, but that was so magical. None of those problems matter. Don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Be the person who says, I love that scene. I loved seeing Luke get a redemption. I love, everything in that about his character in that scene. However, I didn't like the girl power moment. However, I didn't like the fact that we had inconsistent CGI throughout the scene. However, it still doesn't make up for what you did to Luke, right? You can have both. Stop living in this ridiculous Sith absolutist world where you have to either love everything that comes out of Disney or hate it. That you have to love everything about the episode or hate it. I loved the choreography. I thought it was amazing. I hate that they stuck Luke in this show. I can't stand it. I was shaking with rage when it happened. I'm literally shaking. I was literally shaking. I didn't know how to feel. I was like, I don't know how to feel. It's not a good thing. Like I'm seeing things that look right but feel wrong. That was my weird split. This looks right, but this feels wrong. You know what's funny? Just thinking about things though, how you told me about like, the uncanny valley and all that is with the stuff. That's what all of Disney sequel, like Star Wars, the sequel trilogy feels to me like. It's like it's living in the uncanny valley of Star Wars. Where like, you're telling me it's Star Wars, you're showing me Star Wars things, but even visually, it's just not, you almost can't wait to put your finger on it, but it's just not quite right. It's like that. That's what it feels like. And so that's this, where I'm like, so this is not that. The visually, they get it, but here it's still wrong. And so yeah, it's really awesome to see that you have, and I think it's more for Favreau than Filoni. I think Filoni has good vision for Star Wars, except when the characters he's gotten attached to get involved. I'm sorry, I can't even say I think he has good vision. I don't know enough about his body of work. I haven't really watched a lot of what he's done. I do know for a fact and can already see that his vision gets cloudy when his pet characters get involved. But no, it is good that we have people in Lucasfilm who are making Star Wars properties and being listened to, who are making the things that we like, but don't roll over. That's all. And we have Terminus Ust says, I don't see Disney Lucasfilm ever correcting lore and continuity. The most I expect for them to treat classic characters with more respect and cut down on wokeness. I agree. Terminus S. And then it becomes for you to decide, is it enough? Are you happy with a bullshit apology, as I would call it? Are you happy with, that they fucked up, and you know that they know that you know that they fucked up, but they're never going to admit that they fucked up, and you ain't never get that apology? Or do you feel like an admission of wrongdoing is necessary to make those corrections?
There's a third option, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's an apology without it being spoken.
Okay.
I'll use the merchandise example because it's indicative. Like I said, they don't make shit based off stuff people don't like.
Yeah.
But Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, you go back. This isn't a rumor. It's in the Vanity Fair interview she did in 2015. It's in like a purpley pink room, talking about how they wanted to change the Star Wars brand and make it more for girls. They cut that shit out almost instantly after The Last Jedi happened. They know that Rose Tico and Rey and all this shit, that's why your hero of the next one got one toy and they just fucked off. Mm-hmm. Han Solo's got more shit since that. My point is, like, they know, and so they're giving everybody what they want, and they're just not apologizing. And that doesn't absolve them from any guilt. I say, fuck them, but then embrace them kissing your ass. So basically, enjoy being catered to, but don't forget them for the shit. Exactly. But okay, you're a big Boba Fett fan. Guess what? The Slave One was hard to come by. They released it because of the fucking show's popularity. So take that as a win. You want the Slave One? I thought about buying it because I don't want to pay $300 premium price. Maybe you do that. Or no, wait, don't reward them with money. Maybe you just, realize you walk around knowing that you were part of this thing that like knew the property better than the people that owned it. Just because they bought it doesn't mean they really own it.
That's true.
Star Wars and most of geek culture is owned by the fans. Yeah, what I mean is without us, it doesn't exist. It's the customer's always right mentality. It's not about you kissing somebody's ass that's crazy. It's eventually the market dictates if you were popular. They're right. They'll dictate if you exist. They know that. This is the era of fan. This isn't even fan entitlement or fan whatever. This is fan fear. It's good.
Yep.
We're like the Death Star right now. Unlike the Death Star, though, right now our plans haven't been leaked or stolen or stuff. We kind of have this new strong movement. But we can continue to move forward. Just keep it strong. You don't have to, look for bullshit or buy into Grace Randolph style rumors. Just look at what's going on around you, because the same fuckery is happening post Last Jedi. We got people going on. The prequels or the sequels were better. You need to be softened. Fuck those movies and fuck those people for trying to pull. Look it. You shilled for Disney for years and you got called out. This is not your time to shine in the sun. You've been justly dealt with.
Nope. Yep. Absolutely. And Dr. Alex says I might watch the rest of the 2 seasons, even with the synth orchestra, though. It really takes away from. I'm with you on that 100%. I know Dr. Alex is a music guy too.
I never guessed.
And we notice that more often than not. And the thing is, clearly, going to the synthesized soundtrack, the temptation was far too great to do exactly what they did. Oh. Well, we're already replicating our orchestral sounds in synth anyway. So, what if we remix it? What if we tweak it a little? What if we edge it up, make it a little hip hop, make it a little, give it a beat, give it a this,
because
give it a that.
The Mandalorian started out well because that theme song's awesome.
It's a good theme. It's a good theme, and
that weird pan flute sounding that wah wah.
Yeah.
But that's the show's musical identity.
Yes.
This extra bullshit that they started adding, this hip hop, the dubstep beats, all this other stuff.
Weird, and it does not work.
And this is one of those things where it's like, oh, these are nerds bitching. Okay, let's just put Dream On in the middle of the next. And you know what? Dune. Everyone likes Dune all of a sudden. Put Dream On by Aerosmith. Make sure that the characters are listening to it as well as diegetic and non-diegetic. Musical
scoring is an enormously important part of movie mapping. It's one of the reasons I like movies. It's actually without the soundtrack, my favorite movies would not be my favorite movies. And so yeah, it is important. So to me, a Star Wars show could have that style of music work if you want to play with, I don't know, the seedy underbelly of Coruscant. If you want to play with a city planet, something that's developed, that's city, that's techno forward, that has that type of technological edge in it.
I'd fight you on that.
Sure.
I would say no, because we've seen Coruscant. We saw how Lucas handled that. We already, those locations already have that audio soundtrack, that language that goes with them. I don't think you have the latitude.
I think you do. I think you can tell a story in Coruscant that has a soundtrack that breaks out of your more classically orchestrally scored one. I do think you can, because again, but that part of it too is you have to be more willing than Lucasfilm has been yet, and that's where they really went wrong with The Mandalorian. They have not been willing to compromise the grandiosity, if you will, of the Star Wars universe in any of their properties, which is hilarious because they're so afraid of somehow making Star Wars lesser if it's not all tied back to this big important storyline. It doesn't have the grandiose Skywalker backdrop that somehow it's going to be lesser. One of the most classic examples of an author upstaging his own story is when you look at the way, or doing, really doing that to his own world. Look at the way Tolkien writes The Lord of the Rings versus the way he writes The Hobbit, Equally masterful books, equally brilliant stories. One is written with an eye for children. It is much simpler, but not even in terms of the style of the writing, the story. I had that feeling. I grew up watching the animated Hobbit and hearing that book first. And when you dive in and go to the whole Lord of the Rings journey, there's something about the Hobbit where you like, I had the moment of realizing how small and contained that adventure was in relation to the Lord of the Rings adventure. But when you're on the journey of the Hobbit, it doesn't feel any less grand or any less important. And that is where the movies would go wrong, by the way, because the Hobbit movies had this deep desire to try to connect it all into the deeper lore. The Hobbit has a few mentions of what Gandalf is going off and doing, which, yes, does turn into the reappearance of Sauron down the line, but for the most part is not connected to the events of the Lord of the Rings at all. And doesn't try to. And the movies really go wrong trying to shovel all that stuff in. But if you look at those two, like, yeah, you look at it from the perspective of Lord of the Rings, it's a small, tiny story. But I'll be damned if anyone who likes that stuff has ever gone through The Hobbit, read through the books or watched, the animated version and thought that adventure felt small or diminished or unimportant in any way. Same is true there. If the Mandalorian goes on this whole adventure and it has nothing to do with the Empire or the Force or the Jedi or the Rebellion or any of this stuff, we're not going to be any less invested. In fact, we'll probably be more invested, because if you take a story into a universe we don't know where it's going. If you want to tie everything back to stories and plots you've already hashed and rehashed a million times, we lose all the surprise. Oh, you're going to weave this into that plot. Well, I know how that plot ends and who lives and who dies through that adventure. So, that gives that away, before 8 episodes before we even get there. You cut yourself off from the adventure. You cut yourself off from believing in the characters you create by forcing other characters to prop them up in their own world. And that's what The Mandalorian Season 2 did. Yes. I want to see Hutt space in Mandalorian Season 3. Maybe, but I'm almost guarantee you'll see that in the Book of Boba Fett.
What does he mean by Hutt space?
Like, just, I think more about, like, the Hutt worlds. The Hutts.
I don't, because we already know. They're hermaphroditic underworld crime lords. The shit that's interesting about them is the influence they have. So the things around, like, Jabba the Hutt himself is not that interesting. It's the power and the pull he has and all the shit he can do that makes him interesting. He's just a fat slug on a thing that requires.
Well, I want to see that. I know what they mean is they want to see that world. I do.
Oh, I'm all about the underworld.
See that world. I want to see the Hutt world. It's like not the Hutts themselves and how they live, but again, the people. I mean, that's who Han Solo is. That's where he comes from. So yeah, I want to see. That's my favorite character in Star Wars. Of course, I want to see more of the world that manufactured that. Yeah, the Hutt cartel. Exactly. Right.
The reason I'm scared though is because the Mandalorian or these TV shows really don't have the budget to make a Hutt look as good. Because we've seen a fully CGI'd Hutt every era of whatever the peak CGI is. You just don't get that with that. The puppetry was so amazing.
The thing that the way I would do a Hutt if I were them is I would do it so you don't see a lot of them. You see them small, and I would just do a puppet. If I'm them, I just do a puppet. I think it just makes more sense. It's cheaper. It looks better.
Yeah, anytime your special effect operates in the same space that your actors do, it's always going to look better.
That, by the way, in general, huge complaint. First season to second season, the drop off in the CGI quality, and I think and the greater use of it. There were a lot more practical effects and practical builds in the first one, and there was more CGI in the second one, and it was not done nearly as well. It was way more noticeable. It didn't look there were moments that just looked like video games. I did not like it. But yeah, so I think that was them putting their budget into, getting these name actors for these backdoor pilots and bullshit.
I don't know though. I don't think Katie Sackhoff commands, and Sasha Banks. She's a new actress. I think they probably put money into. I mean, I'm not saying I disagree at all. I'm just saying, like, I think they wasted their budget on top of that too. Like, even if they have that excuse, like the actresses they did put the money into, I'm sure they could have allocated other things better. Like, even towards the end with Luke Skywalker, Grogu, Baby Yoda didn't look as good.
Well, that's the whole thing you have to ask, too. Like, I don't know where Mark Hamill is at in Star Wars these days. I don't know if he's in a place where it takes a very, very small pay bump for him to, want to come on and do something with the character, or if he's in a place where it takes a big payday to convince him to come back on set. My gut says it's probably more closer to the latter than the former, given the push and pull you saw during the Last Jedi press tour. But
I'll go with the former, because I think he was very candid and open, and I don't think he'll ever go back on his word or be a dishonest guy with the fans or anything like that. But I feel like he owes him one. I think he felt like he owed him one, and it was like,
maybe.
And one thing too, I love Mark Hamill, I love Luke Skywalker, but he doesn't command the price that a Harrison Ford or a bigger actor would. Luke Skywalker in our minds is a bigger character than Mark Hamill as an actor.
Yeah.
I don't think Mark Hamill again commands as
One
high
of
a
the things
budget
is, though,
or price.
when you go back and look, though, Mandalorian season 1 doesn't have those stars in it with the same amount of screen time.
No, I disagree. The stars are bigger stars. They just play Star Wars roles. Werner Herzog and Carl Weathers are just as big a star as Katie Sackhoff and Mark Hamill.
Werner Herzog doesn't have as much screen time as...
He has as much time as Katie Sackhoff does.
You think so?
Yeah, he's in multiple episodes. The first episode and the last episode, I know for sure.
The thing is, I don't think Werner Herzog's a bigger star than Katie Sackhoff. I think he's just a better and more talented
Werner
creature.
Herzog, while I think because we live in the fan sphere, I think Katie Sackhoff is like a Mark Hamill where she's really good and I like her and all this stuff, but she's not this A-list superstar actress like a Julia Roberts was in her prime.
Yeah, but Werner Herzog is still kind of a weirdo that a lot of people don't know.
But he's made stuff that more people have seen.
People have seen that, but there's still a lot of people don't even know it's him. Like, a lot of people don't know he's Grizzly Man. He made Grizzly Man. And a lot of people don't, because he doesn't do a lot of acting. A lot of people don't know him as an actor. I would say also budget-wise, he's going to be a lot less expensive than Katie Sackhoff for acting. He's not an actor. He's done these bit parts and whatnot. He's a regular day rate and plus a little bit, because it's like, hey, you want to do an acting role? Hey, sure, fun. Whereas Katie Sackhoff is she's just going to get paid more. It's Facto, same for Rosario Dawson. So the whole thing is, like, you are, even though you're with, I don't know what this budget show is, but paying those actors versus just not paying those actors. Because the whole thing is, you're still paying what's his face. I always forget his name.
Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah,
you still have him in that last episode and this one. So, like, the only celebrity you didn't have in this season that you did have in that last season was Werner Herzog, because he gets killed. But Cara Dune comes back. Bill Burr, even Bill Burr comes back. Everyone pretty much comes back. Even the fucking assassin chick who wasn't even anyone comes back.
No, but like I said, you do, but I just don't think Katie Sackhoff and Rosario Dawson, I think like Timothy Olyphant and other actors do add to the budget and stuff like that. But I don't think Katie Sackhoff and Rosario Dawson
I don't think they're worth it. But the whole thing is that just adding that, though, Mark Hamill's paycheck, Rosario Dawson's paycheck, Katie Sackhoff's, whatever they paid Sasha Banks, and Bill Burr coming back again, and then Timothy Olyphant and all that. That's going to be a huge bump from your actor budget from the previous season. Whether or not it's it's not going to be a ton. They're still not at a budget where they're going to pull much bigger people than that. But you're talking about that money has to come from somewhere, and I think it came from the CGI budget.
Which is dumb, because this is the first season that has the merchandising to come in front.
Yeah.
So you'd think, wow, my number one show makes me so much money, and it looks good. I need to find a way to make it look even better. Well, I sell this little green doll, and it makes me billions of dollars. I could take 5% of that and just keep the show at the same level.
Yeah.
This is bullshit, because I was thinking back, the stuff with IG-11, that fight scene in the beginning when he finds the child is awesome.
So good.
That looks great. All the shit with the Jawas when they're fighting, like, you'd never seen a sandcrawler like that. We saw the inside of it, and
all of that stuff. But yeah,
and I will even go up until the beginning of this season too, because I wonder if it's a situation where other seasons have budgets, but episodes have like a locked-in budget, because
sometimes they do. Yeah.
Well, the first episode looked awesome with the Crate Dragon.
Yeah.
That whole episode looked cool. The Carl Weathers episode looked cool. All the final 3 episodes, I think back, the Bill Burr one and then the last episode all looked good. It was the Robert Rodriguez one that looked like it was filmed outside. That's where I think they cut corners, because they just didn't
use any CGI there. Well, so I think that's what it was. It was like certain places they did and didn't, and maybe they prioritized. Maybe it wasn't that budgets were locked in for episodes. Maybe they figured everyone's gonna be so focused on Bo-Katan or Ahsoka, they're not gonna notice that we didn't spend as much time, to the point where literally we're gonna get action figures that look better than some of the shit was rendered on the screen.
Oh, so. You got your whatchamacallit too. She even had Michael Biehn added to this season.
Yaka says, don't forget John Leguizamo. Was John Leguizamo in this season?
Was he in the first season? Was he one of the alien creatures?
Who is he? remember seeing him. John Leguizamo, Mandalorian, open season 2 with the... Oh!
Yeah.
He's that guy!
Oh, good for
The
him.
one-eyed dude. No fucking way.
See, I like how this reports a fun Mandalorian appearance, and then they leave it alone. They don't go, could he come back for 7 episodes?
No, it's just...
It's like seeing...
See, that to me, that was like when Simon Pegg was the dude in The Force Awakens. I'm like, if you're gonna shove celebrity cameos into your Star Wars, do it like this. Do it where I can't see them.
That's
even the Daniel Craig one. I'm okay with because I'm
fine.
like,
you know, Samuel L. Jackson wanted to be a stormtrooper, right?
I didn't know.
Like the famous quote is, "I want to be in your movie. I'll just play a stormtrooper."
Oh yeah, I did know that. I heard that. Yes,
like,
I do remember that quote.
That's to me when if you want to like not promote the movie that way, but you're like low key like all these actors that like Star Wars just want to play stormtroopers, give them whatever the people that would play the stormtrooper be, and you just want to populate it. Cool. That's a fun little extra tidbit. Go, oh, this stormtrooper was played by Daniel Craig and Tika Waititi, or this one was played by
you
Billy
go to
Zane
the credits and you're like Stormtrooper 1 through 12, and you're like Ayla's after, and you're like, what the fuck?
John Cleese is Stormtrooper 17.
Right, you know, weird shit like that. Stuff.
He was tall for a stormtrooper.
You do that stuff, and it's fun. You know, you suddenly see every random Joe Schmo is a famous actor in the crowd. You're like, what? Why does so and so live in this planet?
You know what it becomes, right? Those stupid holiday movies, you know, New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, I Heart Huckabees, and all that other bullshit.
That is what a lot of these like superhero properties start to feel like after a while.
That's what the last
what
Avengers,
new celebrity movie can we put in?
For me.
It was hard to get around that one though because of how you built this, you know, the whole thing. But it really...
Yes and no. I mean, they chose. I think with Endgame they worked backwards. Like the Thanos arc, they knew where they wanted and they worked their way backwards. And I think it was one of those things where they sold the imagery of the superheroes and the portals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they worked their way backwards to make a story that gets you there and logically makes sense. But if you worked your other way, I think you would be focused on more possibilities.
The journey and not
the end game, literally.
Well, hey, Splash, someone looks like he needs a little Benadryl.
Yeah.
Oh, he's really bad. He must have gotten into some dairy. I wonder if he got any of the cheese from the cooking. I don't think he's smart to hop on that thing up there.
He never has, and we put it away right away.
Yeah, it's been
because you know I don't like the cats looking on anything I eat, so I just.
Hey, buddy. Purr. Where'd you get at? He's got a dairy allergy, so he could have just had some. What do you think?
Now, one thing I'd like to talk about that we don't really talk about in the wish fulfillment on other levels. I'd like to see Grogu just say, no, I'm staying with Mandalorian.
Right.
And I am just going to say this. I like the Jedi to a degree. There's more in Star Wars than the fucking Jedi.
Exactly.
Go back and watch the old Star Wars movies. There's a Jedi. To be fair, there's not a single... No, there's only one single living Jedi in each one of those movies until you get to Return of the Jedi, and then Yoda dies right away.
Yep.
And then technically Luke isn't a Jedi until he beats Darth Vader. He says it. Then a Jedi you will be. So you have one Jedi per movie. Then you overdo it with the prequels, and it's cool. Like, oh yeah, lightsabers.
And see, like that to me in the prequels, it makes sense. All right, we're gonna go back to a time when the Jedi are popular. We're gonna see an alternate version of Star Wars where Jedi are everywhere. Okay, that's cool.
I love it. But I don't think you need to make them celibate monks.
Yeah,
Lucas took the fun out of Star Wars by mistake.
Yeah,
like trying to build a world that's richer than before, which is a great noble cause.
The whole thing is when all the kids want to be Luke. They want to grow up and be the pilot and the Jedi and the this and the that.
Nobody wants to be a celibate priest.
They don't want to exactly. So why are you making children compromise their dreams? You know, no, they should have it all.
A Jedi to have a wife is not a problem. Nobody wanted Luke Skywalker to die alone on a fucking rock.
Now, I actually think it would be great. I think this is how, if Lucas likes this idea, what it would have taken his prequel concept to the next level is if you have basically two schools of thought within the Jedi, which is some Jedi live a normal life and want to take wives and whatnot, and other Jedi refuse to and think that it makes you, susceptible to.
And Palpatine didn't even he could have taken over the Jedi in one movie with that. He could have used his.
Maybe the whole thing set it up so maybe Obi-Wan's one of those Jedi who feels like taking a wife and a family is, because that makes sense for his character.
Yeah.
He feels like taking a wife and a family is a detriment, and he really tries to instill that on Anakin because he feels that Anakin being older when he came to get training, is too volatile, and so he tries to instill, and him trying to force that ideology is what pushes Anakin away, and Palpatine's telling him, no, you can have it all, and you can even stop her from dying, because it pulls him to the dark side. Like right there, bam, now you have all the nuance. I only
would have loved Obi-Wan being that staunch about things if we had later found out, like in the Clone Wars show, that he had something that falls apart. Because there's in the Clone Wars show, there's this Duchess Satine lady, and they had this romance, but there's no kid or anything like that. I would like if Obi-Wan flirted with the idea once at a like why it was like once like you or whatever, and like one woman died or he had a son that killed
or something like that. I would, I think
human.
Make him human. He had a family, and he had to make the choice between the line of duty and like the greater good in his family, and maybe he made the wrong choice. Maybe he made the choice for his family, and other people died and suffered, and his family died too, and then he said never again. Something like that. Add all this richness to it. Yeah, I agree. That would have made the Jedi like something. Yeah, I agree with you on all that stuff, and that's something I would play with too. Like, people ask me a ton, if you're going to write a Star Wars story, what are you writing? So I thought about it for a long time because I've never had that desire. I've never been a fan fiction person. My fan fiction, like, because the whole thing is my fan fiction lives in my head. My fan fiction is if I lived in this storyline, who like literally it's like if I lived in Middle Earth and Aragorn and Legolas were fighting over me. Like, that's my version of fan fiction. That's all I've ever cared about as a fan. I like what's given to me, and then my version of if I were 16-year-old Jesse wanted who had a crush on every boy. But people asked me so much that I was like, okay, what's the story I'm going to tell? And I finally decided, okay, I'm going to tell a post Fall of the Empire movie, and we're going to say this is significantly post somewhere out other part of the galaxy we've never seen before, shit you've never seen or heard of and whatnot. The same creatures, the same looks, the same this, but I want to get out of our known territories and have it be centered around, okay, so Luke is possibly still alive at this point, might be dead at this point, whatever it is, has sent some of his earliest students into the galaxy to train new Jedi elsewhere. And so my character is one of the students of these, and it's a teacher, the main character who has a lot of natural force talent, but not a lot of desire to live the Jedi lifestyle, and a older student who doesn't have as much force sensitivity, but a really staunch desire to follow the Jedi lifestyle. And the main character ultimately becomes like, okay, I can use the force and learn how to fight with the lightsaber, learn to do all these things and use it for good, but also has more of like a Han Solo kind of bend the rules, be the anti-hero, be the pilot with the like fighter and whatnot, and like play with that, like, because that's me, that's my have it all, like, just kind of like you say, like, my perfect character has a lightsaber and Jedi training and knows how to use the Force and shit and is Han Solo. Like, that's my favorite. That's like best of both worlds. So that's the story I'd write. Because it's why not have it all?
If I'm with you. I don't like fan fiction, so I wouldn't write a Star Wars story. Han, it's probably the pine tree that makes him fucking allergic. You dumbass! I'm not even gonna. You drink the tree water.
We should melt it. We should dissolve a Benadryl in there
and turn our tree pink. Our tree's already starting to wilt because they keep drinking from it. California, we're not meant for this.
Actually, this tree looks beautiful in this light right now. It does look nice.
Hi.
It's not even fully decorated yet.
Dude, you're gonna hurt yourself.
You're gonna drink a pine needle and fucking tired. It's just a little water basin on the tree that's full of pine needles, and he's freaking drinking it like an idiot.
And he's having an allergic reaction.
Probably from that. So,
yeah, but to answer the question, or as I say, is I wouldn't write that. But if I was going to write a Star Wars story, any Star Wars story, I actually would write shit between the first movie and the second movie, because it's right in my wheelhouse about having everything I want. I don't want another Jedi story. I'm tired of that shit. But I want Luke Skywalker's story. So why not follow him in an early era? Because I think he's the most interesting when he doesn't have a teacher, but he wants to continue this journey. Like Luke Skywalker had more layers before Return of the Jedi, because the Lucas in general, anybody that wrote Star Wars, they turned Jedi more into monks than they did anything else. Because even Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first one, yes, he had that thing, but other people had an idea about it. He was a crazy old wizard, this, that, and the other. And he was also a badass dude that smoked people without any hesitation. Yeah. Luke softened to what people would think this Jedi monk nature would be. I think Luke Skywalker, the character that you want, I think Luke Skywalker should have been that.
There's one thing, there's so much more to explore about Luke too, though. Like, just the way they had him in the original trilogy of like, he's never been off world, but he's got Han say, by the end of the first movie saying, you're not that bad in a fight, kid. So like, he clearly has these instincts to fight and, be fine. They come from the Force or whatever you say, but like, there's a lot to that character. And there's something I never liked about post Return of the Jedi too, where it just made this assumption that like, okay, he defeated Lord Vader, and now he's this perfect Jedi Master. Yeah. Speak Your Mind says drink. You guys, you're talking too much. Cheers.
I agree. But I think that comes from the happily ever after mentality.
Yeah.
And so when that movie was made, it was never meant to be more. Like, one of the reasons why Star Wars keeps falling apart more is because those stories were done.
They were done. They were over.
It's like if I took a Stairway to Heaven and I wanted to add my own addendum to it or whatever. I shouldn't touch that song. I shouldn't do those things. And the Star Wars story is awesome, but if you need to make more, you have a million characters, or make up a million new characters. Every fucking video game, they make up these characters. Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order, Star Killer, the Vader Apprentice, all these wonderful additions. Put it on film. We'll be there. You can put us in the world of Star Wars. There are 7 billion people on this planet. That's a galaxy full of planets. Tell us another, and don't fuck the other ones over. Hell, you could tell me the exact a story during the A New Hope timeline on. It's gonna be a great movie that I'd like to see. Here's my Star Wars story. I would write a film about the last day of Alderaan, but no one would know it's the last day, and it would be like the planet had overcome something big or something, and it's about like this movie where it's on Alderaan the entire time. It's during the events of A New Hope. Everyone's coming together, this, that, and the other. They're worried about the princess, this unity thing, and all this stuff, and they have this false hope, and then it ends.
But you know what you should do, though, is when you tell the story, is you don't
tell it's Alderaan.
You don't tell the planet. Yeah. You just sit there. You never say it, and you just tell the story, and then like literally like the movie ends.
Well, somebody got going, yeah, it is Alderaan after all. What?
Or honestly, like the movie ends with like a big zoom out and it's Death Star approaching Alderaan, and you're like, fuck.
I would end. Well, that's my original ending for Rogue One.
Yeah.
I thought the world's best ending to Rogue One would have been they got the plans for the Death Star, they saved day, everyone's good. And they're like, all right, set course to Alderaan, and the movie just fucking ends like that.
You're like, no.
That's what I want. I wanted to leave the theater upset like that, not to watch him die. I wanted to set the course for Alderaan because everyone, like I told you when we were talking about somebody, we wanted to watch their life story. And I said, oh, you get attached to them even though whatever, by the time they die at the end of it, you're bummed out. Did you get invested in that thing? I want that.
There's something acting teachers tell you, which is really cool and good advice too, which is sometimes like it's really good and important as an actor to learn how to cry on cue, on command, or in the moment. It's important to learn how to tap into your emotions so you can open them up and just really let go. And some of the really fun things to do in acting class are when, your teacher wants to push you if you're feeling a little closed off or stifled or emotionally stunted anyway, when your teacher wants to push you into this big whole emotional, crazy moment and breakdown. But an acting teacher once talk about how much more compelling it can be sometimes to not cry than to cry. And not just to not cry, but to open yourself up in that way. It's the next level. If you open yourself up to that way and make yourself raw enough that you can feel those things that would make you cry, but then in the moment of the scene, fight through the urge to cry, because the beauty of film, when we can capture your face that close, it is so much more compelling to watch somebody struggle through that than it is to watch them just break down and let go in a lot of moments. And I was like, that's such a cool thought. And to that token, how much more compelling is it to leave the theater, leave your heroes hurtling towards their fate, than it is to sit there with the music and the slow-mo and the swell of lights and them clinging to each other on a beach at the end of times.
Just like Halo Reach?
Yeah, which I've never played to the end of, but I assume it. But the funny thing is, it's like you say that, and it's weird. I'm like, what do I know that ends like this? What do I know that ends just like this? Halo, the story of Reach. The funny thing is, I've never played through that game, as I've told Jeff many times. I've just read the first trilogy they put out, which starts with where the second book is the
That's
Fall
a
of Reach.
meme on our channel.
Yeah.
Dying on a beach, Halo Reach style, was a joke for a long time. Like every once in a while it pops up. So Halo Reach style is just like a thing on our channel. It's been for years. Just we bring it up because what we would do is we were making fun of Rogue One for some reason. And like, yeah, they all die on a beach, Halo Reach style. And then it clicked, so we laughed. And then we just kept picking movies. Like, yeah, they die on a beach, Halo Reach.
Halo Reach.
Hey, you ever seen Saving Private Ryan? They die on a beach, Halo Reach style. Fucked up. But it works.
I fucking love it. But no, it's so true. That's what it fucking is. It's a Halo Reach thing. Which was like, it was the feeling I got when they put out the video game, having like knowing the story and going, oh, they put out the Reach, they put out, you know, the game that's gonna be the Fall of Reach, and then I realized, oh, they put out the Fall of Reach.
Did you see where our Master Chief went to live, by the way?
Where did he go to live?
Next to Shawn Michaels.
Yay, deservingly.
You like his pose?
I do.
So, folks, just for a second, Halo is the video game of our relationship.
It is.
It's not my personal favorite. Is it your personal favorite game?
It is my personal favorite game, I would say. It's yeah.
Halo is a very good franchise. It's one of my favorite franchises, but I don't think a Halo game would even crack my top 20 favorite video games.
Ooh, Halo 1 is number 1.
Halo 1's brand new game to me.
I love that you're ready to go through. I'm so excited for the Flood. Oh my god.
I mean, I know.
No, like, I mean, playing through that level for the first time, though. Like, I know you know what the Flood is.
The
like,
part in Halo 3 was creepy as shit.
Nothing will compare to the way you get introduced to the Flood. It's like...
Well, the only question I asked is because that was your actual introduction to that as a concept. I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I just meant, like, I know what the Flood is, and I've played the other games, so, like, the Flood is already something to me. I was like, oh, it's the Flood.
Fair. Cool. I will see how you think after Private Jenkins. And that is all I will say.
Cool, because I don't want you to ruin it for me. Like what's his name, the Captain Tennille or whatever his name was.
What?
The Captain?
Captain Keys.
Captain Keys. Captain Tennille.
Captain Keys. Fucking Captain Keys.
Do you know who Captain Tennille was?
I don't.
Captain Tennille was the guy in MXC that would go, Skiddo! And his name is a portmanteau with Captain Antonille.
Ha!
What a great show.
But no, Captain Keys, because his daughter's Miranda Keys.
Not Nancy Keys.
No, I follow her in the next game though. F in the chat for Private Jenkins. Right, Starfreakus? F in the chat for Private Jenkins, please, and thank you. If you don't remember Private Jenkins by name, when you play through the story for the first Halo game, when you get to the Flood, he is the HUD display you watch. So MXC reference, yes. Yeah. And thank you, Martin and Starfreakus, and all who follow with the respects for Private Jenkins.
So what you're telling me is we're gonna end the show MXC style, right? You know what that means?
Well, I was gonna end it marriage style, but Indeed. Oh, we have a unicorn from author Stephen Walton. He's in the chat here. I just stick a Jeff in my unicorn.
She called me that early in a relationship, so I used to buy her shit with unicorns on all the damn time.
Because unicorns, are rare magical creatures that many people don't believe exist, much like this man sitting beside me.
If you were a bigger nerd, every time you called me your unicorn, I'd call you my Unicron. But neither of us like Transformers, so it means nothing.
That's fair. That's fair. There's always Charlie T. Unicron, though. The ghetto version of Charlie the Unicorn. You shut the hell up, man. You shut the hell up. I think I showed you that, didn't I?
Yes.
Oh, just got some coffee, saw a movie, whatever. Yeah, should be good. It's the dragon!
You know what's nice? Within the next 20 minutes, we'll be off for Christmas break.
We
didn't even get to talk about Christmas yet. The best thing.
I made a drink for this.
Oh, for that super sticker.
Mhm.
Thank you, author Stephen Walton.
I'm gonna drink about Nefarious Technology. He says, "Yo, stranger, what's up, Nefarious Technology? Great to see you two. Been stupid busy. Glad to see you two still going strong. Hey, we never listened out. That's why I'm like, oh yeah, you. Oh wait, we haven't seen you in a minute. Luke and Chiefs, 13-1. Oh, sorry, Jesse, had to brag.
I like Nefarious Technology.
Dude, look, live it up, man. Enjoy it. Don't apologize to me. Be happy. You don't have to apologize to me for enjoying your success. Oh my God.
What if
Dr. Alex likes Charlie T. Unicron? But don't apologize. Look, I was living it up when my team was on top of the world. I know how great it fucking feels. Enjoy it, man. Ride high. Also, y'all are welcome for Andy Reid. We trained him up. We gave him every obstacle he'd ever need to face.
If we can take a moment to
also,
gloat,
thank you, Yakuza.
the Bengals beat the Steelers.
Yeah, right.
The Steelers were what? 10-0, right? That was their fucking record? Or did they have one loss before?
Well, the Bengals were tied with the Eagle had a 1-1.
No, the Steelers.
Oh, the Steelers.
I said the Steelers. They beat the Steelers last night.
Or
the Steelers undefeated until the Bengals beat them. That was all I'm trying to get at. Like,
the Steelers undefeated this season because
they were kicking
undefeated
ass. I thought they made it to 10-0 when they beat the. Did they play the Eagles? Right? They do play the Eagles.
They did play the Eagles. The Eagles actually. That was one of their better games this season.
They were 10-2. Okay.
10-2. Okay. So they had dropped a couple. But yeah, they were
the Bengals.
Oh, that's what it might have been. That's what it was. Is I think they had lost. My Steelers might have lost their first 2 games, but I think they had 10 on it. It was something like they had a really long run of unopposed victories. So I don't know if it was like 8 unopposed victories or something like that, or 9 that the Steelers ended the fucking streak.
I just love that the Bengals. That is our.
Or the Bengals ended their streak. Yeah,
it's a shit team historically. But it's nice that every once in a while they're like, "Hey, Cincinnati, you can still believe in us."
There you go.
Even from a distance, I was like, "Yeah, they won."
Well, that's the the NFL philosophy. Any given Sunday, the week before, the Eagles, one of the worst teams in football right now, beat the Saints.
It was a Monday,
and it was Sunday. It was Sunday.
The Bengals.
The Eagles beat the.
Oh,
you're right. The Bengals.
Yeah. The Bengals was a Monday Night Football game on ESPN in front of millions of people.
The thing is any given Sunday.
Good movie.
But it really rings true though, and you've seen that. You see that when these things happen. That's what's fun in football is. And that's why you watch week after week, because your dog shit team, this might be the week where they pull out the W, and that's the week you're going to want to watch. And you don't know which week it's going to be, so you got to tune in.
They were the last undefeated team. That's what it was.
Okay. Okay. Tight. But anyway, it was great.
Doth Mother know you wear her drapes?
We should probably play Mad Libs. So we had a really fun Mad Lib with Andy Signor of Popcorn Planet and all of his other fun, hugging the cactus, all the millions and myriad, formerly movie fights, all that good stuff.
I mean, the guy has a movie award that was handed to him by Samuel L. Jackson, he said, or some shit?
Yeah, that was badass. He was showing it off. It was cool. But it was really neat what he said too, and it was funny because he had touched on that a little bit on the show when I was on with him, of like how he literally has that award and all these accolades and stuff from all the empire he built prior to getting dethroned. And he just recently got his latest YouTube silver play button from reaching 100,000 subscribers with Popcorn Planet, and he said this one meant more because he did it all himself.
Yep.
He worked everything he was talking about before. It wasn't in this context of awards so much, but that everything he's doing now means more to him, and the victories, even if they're smaller in scale, are more important and more impactful because of that. Because he feels like he has ownership of this, he has control. This is him, and this is his project, his vision, all of that stuff, and his hard work. No one else shares the credit for it. And so it was cool. It was cool to hear that. It's really interesting. Andy's in a really interesting place as a YouTuber. I recommend everyone go check out his stuff because he has tons of connections from before, from his everything he's done, until now. And then he also has this, but it's kind of like the pressures you have making Empire Strikes Back. You're riding high off of A New Hope and all the wonderful things and stuff. You still have budget concerns. You still have shooting issues. You still have environment things, adverse things you're working against. So Andy's in a similar situation of like, he has a lot of the stuff that comes from being successful, but he has a lot of the pressures that come from still having to prove himself. And so he's bringing in those people, and then he's finding new people, and then he's bringing people like me who, don't necessarily have the resume of some of his other guests, but have something that he likes that's fun. And it's really cool to see that you're seeing, it was really, sorry, the Nerd I was on last week was really cool watching someone who's 18 years old, someone I think of as a baby, battling with Frank Gore over nerd stuff, or why do I always say that? That's the second time I've done that. Why do I keep saying Frank Gore? Who is Frank Gore? Is that a person? I don't know. I've done that twice now. I don't know who. Chris Gore. Sorry.
That was you legitimately stabbed me. I was like, ow. Merry Christmas, folks. See you in 2021.
That's how we should.
There's no place like home.
So Chris Gore, who's well more than twice his age, closer to 3 times his age, maybe even, and these two people who have the same sentiments when it comes to Star Wars. And
I don't think Chris Gore's almost 60.
What?
I don't think Chris Gore's almost 60.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I just don't think he's like my mom's age.
No,
my mom's 61.
He's got to be.
I'm guessing 47
I'm
or
guessing. My guess would be mid. I honestly didn't think of what 36 plus 18 would be.
Oh, he's 55.
Yeah, isn't it 30? But 36 plus 18 is 50.
He's older than I realized. Is all I was saying.
18. Hold on. 18 times 3 is 54, right?
Yeah.
So 3 times his age works.
I think he was as old as
Yes, I win. I actually was almost exactly 3 times his age. Yes. Anyway, so yes, you're talking about someone arguing with someone else 3 times his age over Star Wars, and the two of them are approaching it from cool.
I just like how there's 2 different people with the same name that are both famous.
Hilarious. I love that one is a Jesus freak and one is a nerd. And they don't look anything alike. Honestly, the Chris Gore, the simplicity of the gospel, looks kind of like a Nazi. Not there in that other picture. Like it looked like a Nazi propaganda picture, is what I was saying. But like he looks like a perfectly fine dude. I just think it's so hilarious.
People also search for Kevin Smith. They did.
Oh, well, that's nice. God, that's just does not look like him to me.
Hey, good for him.
So weird.
He has just become something that I don't like anymore, which breaks my heart because he was so important to me at the right age. It's like, man, Kevin Smith is the best. And now I'm just like, man, Kevin Smith has changed. And it breaks my heart.
Shadzar says, didn't we learn tonight that Mecca is older than Tom? Is she?
1 year older, they say in the chat.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Mecca's a surprising one because she's very youthful.
Yeah.
I
hung out with her.
I did not suspect she was her age until she told me at all. Not even close. So, all right. So we should do Mad Libs and Christmas. We should finish our tree afterwards.
Oh, not on stream, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a second, I was like, I thought you meant afterwards as an after Mad Libs. I'm like, nah, because we got to get set up and get the lighting better. That's why I was like, nah. Yeah, of course. It is getting late, though, so we should.
Yeah. So I have this. All right. So, chat, you have an animal plural. That's your first word. Sorry, a slight cough going on, guys. All right. Jeff has a noun.
Kevin Smith. Wait, no, that's proper noun. Hold on, let me change it.
I mean, it will work if you want to use it.
No, the Grinch. I want to stick with Christmas.
Okay.
That's too hot. I'm not uncomfortable.
So let me see. What's a Christmas verb? It's not caroling.
Jingling, sleighing, prancing, plowing, eating, drinking, fucking.
Making merry.
You know, it'd be a funny gimmick for her, making Mary Mayhem. And, like, if the gimmick is, like, you're just having fun doing evil, like, that would be her shtick. Like,
that would be fun.
Making evil.
Ooh, we've got geese, hippos, elephants, murder of crows, dodo birds. Can I have a bite of apple?
I think you should go with geese because it's Christmas.
Yeah. That's true.
What's his name? Scrooge brings, right?
That's true. It just sounds like a funny animal, too. Geese.
Boiled, yes.
All right, chat. You were going to now next. Thank you. So we will still consider some of your animals as a possibility. Sweet Pea suggested Bengals.
Well,
That's your animal. Jeff, a plural now, please.
Chestnuts. I've never had chestnuts.
I had water chestnuts.
Yeah. I've heard this called bamboo shoots before.
Those are different things.
I know, but my mom mistakenly calls it because she just hates them both. So she's like, ugh.
They're gonna blow this.
I know. I know that. I'm just saying she calls them both.
That's funny. I have a verb. Roast. Why not?
Zing.
No, that feels. I don't want it to end up with chestnuts though, because that'll be too on the nose if it does.
Bob. Like Bob for apples. Or Bob would kiss my ass.
How about just kiss?
I like that one.
Like under a mistletoe.
If you say the word kiss on the stream, I have to.
It's the law.
Caw is the law.
I feel like that should be the law in general. Like if someone super chats and it says kiss, we should have to kiss.
If they do, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight you on it.
It's a law. Nouns from the chat. Arlen, Texas.
Yes! That's where Hank Hill lives.
I know.
I'm surprised Greg Gerby didn't.
Vegas, Guantanamo Bay. I kind of want to take Gitmo. Oh, 5 gold rings, though. That's a plural noun.
Free Shavakadu. Come to Del Taco. They got
free Shavakadoos. Oh, God. Bring your boy from last week. You got me laughing. Which one, Matt Deckard or Andy's Ignore? Because they're both great. Probably Matt. He's a lot of fun. We're getting ready to wrap up tonight, but we were definitely. Oh yeah, Matt was hilarious during the Mad Libs. He could. He was so drunk. Let's take 5 gold rings. It'll work. All right, Jeff, a verb, please.
Shovel.
Okay. Okay. So, type of food for me. Oh wait, you guys are doing a plural now next, so keep them coming. Sweet pea, stricken propane. Guess someone's watching the King of the Hill.
We are.
I'm gonna go fruitcake.
So, remember when I was playing The Sims, how everyone kept getting sick? When you build a house and have a housewarming party, somebody just brings a fruitcake automatically. If people eat it, they get sick.
All right. Plural noun. Sweet pea for the win. Retarded buttholes
Yep.
are plural noun.
Sweet Pea, you're my favorite listener tonight.
I like how Sweet Pea's all like, yeah, King of the Hill references that Jeff is really, really digging. And
Retarded buttholes!
We're like, yes, that's the one that's going in.
Yes. I'll tell you what. No, dang. Retarded butthole. Hey, you know what we should do?
What?
We should use one of these Sharpies.
Write their names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not tonight, but you know.
Can we write Spush on Spushes?
Of course.
Spush.
But I think it should be like apostrophe S Spush. For some reason, just like make it really.
Spush.
Yeah, like just retarded. Let's see how
Actually,
it
it
works.
should be Spush apostrophe because it's short for special.
Okay.
So it should just be Spush apostrophe.
Right.
Like you guys are fine. Got it.
But
All right, let's see. Retarded buttholes. You guys are working on a exclamation. So retarded buttholes would also work. Also, yay and yes. So
holy rusted metal Batman.
So Sweet Pea, you're ahead of the game. Jeff has a type of liquid.
Eggnog.
Okay.
Huevos rancheros sauce.
Why do I get so many fucking verbs?
At least they're not adjectives like some of these damn things.
All right, you know what? Plow.
Yes.
Because it works for both.
Is it true that all for Christmas is you? Yes.
All right, exclamation. Zoons! That's always a good one. Matt Deckers, I'd say retarded too. But retarded is a frowned upon word these days. Well, thank you, Matt
put
Deckers.
the Quantum Leap clip on my channel. I'm retarded.
Fifis! Sweepy is nailing this shit tonight.
Yeah, I think you should go Fifis.
Fifis! And I'm making it all caps too. Sweepy, do you have a Fifis shirt? If not, I want to send you one for Christmas. So just email me your address and I will. And let me know if you want the no one cares about your Fifis or the this got me right in the Fifis. Because I just love you and you're wonderful. And didn't Sweepy, wasn't she the one that had an accident too? A car accident or some shit? Was that Sweepy?
I hope not, but maybe.
I thought it was. It was recently. So
I'm glad she's well enough to be here. I hope she's completely well.
Email me because I love you. I want to send you a Fifi shirt.
Okay, there's only 2 more.
All right. So, last one for us is thank you, chat. Jeff has the adjective.
Surly. Surly duck.
I'm gonna go with a place, the North Pole.
The Good Place.
The North Pole. That's a great show.
It is a great place.
It's a great show. It's a good place. Question. Sorry, this is Miss Manners. Your questions answered. You ready, guys? Dear Miss Manners, every time I go to a Grinch party, I embarrass myself by making merry in front of the other guests. How do I deal with this embarrassing problem? I have too much fun at parties. How do I not have fun at parties?
Talk about The Last Jedi.
Miss Manners replies, Dear reader, it sounds like a case of geese in your stomach.
Could be.
Try picturing your fellow partygoers without their chestnuts. This should help you to kiss and enjoy the evening. What kind of parties are you going to?
Orgies.
On a recent stay with friends, I arrived without 5 golden rings for the hosts. Should I have brought a gift to say shovel you for their hospitality? Traditionally, freshly baked fruitcake is given. This is terrible advice.
Yes, it is.
But you also can present them with a You also can present them with a bouquet of retarded buttholes.
That should be a t-shirt bouquet. I'll draw that for you. We'll do a bouquet of retarded buttholes. They'll be messed up buttholes or something. Just a bouquet. Edible arrangements.
Make it cat butts. So you have the tails sticking all up and you just see all the little cat butts. Because everyone loves cat butts. So then you can just make all the tails. Or like
a bouquet of retarded buttholes?
And it's just retarded cat butts. Or a bottle of eggnog is a way of saying that. What would you prefer? Retarded buttholes or a bottle of eggnog?
Eggnog, because I'll use it.
Okay. My husband and I are in the middle of a disagreement.
Ooh.
Is it okay to plow at the dinner table?
Yeah. If we had a dinner table, we would.
Well, Miss Manners says, Fifi's! I have never heard of anything so surly. I suggest that you move to the North Pole where such behavior is considered
She's
acceptable.
going to get a South Pole on that fucking table. So she needs to calm down. What's your name, Miss Manners? She needs to get laid.
She does.
That's my advice for Miss Manners in 2020.
My alcohol just said, hey, take a nap. Which means that we need to stop because I either need to. There's 2 things I can do at this juncture when my booze says, Jesse, take a nap. Which is either do what it says and just go to bed, or say, fuck you, and go harder and drink past the sleep.
You should, because I'm going to go take a shit. And then
I think we should do that, but then we have to leave. So, let me do our Corona kiss to a Christmas theme tonight. Where is my... There it is. We should kiss before I get copy struck.